Do I? Okay. And then I didn't. Why? Why is all of this happening? I don't know. Okay. And I need to make sure I have this up beforehand. Oh, what are we doing? Okay, there we go. Hi, Megan. Hi, Suki. How are you guys doing? Um, right. Can you guys hear me? I normally just check. Hi, Sigrid. Normally check the sound myself, but I can rely on you guys, right? You'll definitely tell me when you can't hear me, obviously. So, um, also, I got to figure out how I'm going to have this whole thing set up. Hi, Vico. How are you guys doing this morning or afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you? Okay, you can hear me? Good. Yay, yay, yay. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. for me. I don't know what time it is for y'all, but we are finally here. Like, man, I'm gonna have to do things differently this time. There is no way I'm gonna read so far in advance that I'm stuck with the inability to read for an entire week. I set myself up for failure there. That's what happened. Hello, Ariella. Welcome. You are a new face or a new name, I think, rather. So nice to see you. Sounds fine. Yay! Oh, nice. So you in the East Coast, then wait. Yes, EST. Okay, so I tried to come prepared today. Not gonna lie, I was doing things last minute. Like literally, it turned 11 a.m. and I was like, shit, get started. Thank you. You want to know something really funny? This is not originally a necklace. My husband and I went to a birthday party last night for my godson's father, and it was all black. And so he had all black on, and then this really nice gold shiny chain that also had like silver sparkles in it. And I don't have jewelry other than those earrings y'all see me wear every now and then. And he tried to put one of his chains on me. He was like, would you like to wear a chain?" And I was like, I don't know, let's see." So he took his black chain and put it on me, but it was coming over this area. And I was like, I don't know. If it was pulled back and not falling into this, it would make sense. But he didn't have anything that was a shorter length or long enough that it could be wrapped around to be made shorter. So I was jewelryless. But my clutch bag that I took has, of course, the clutch that you can hold on to and then the long part so you can wear it on your shoulder. So I took it off my purse and just wrapped it around my neck and then clasped it in the back. And he was like, "It looks great." And I was like, "Yeah, he was like, "You just found something?" And I was like, "Yeah, women, we get really inventive. Like sometimes we use things for other purposes than what they were originally created for." So that's how this necklace came to be. I'm trying to wear more because I really did feel, I don't know, like when he first put his black chain on me, it was really small. When I pulled it back, I was like, oh man, now I wish I had a choker because it would have looked so great with the outfit. And I was like, okay, I stopped wearing jewelry a long time ago. I used to design jewelry, right? Um, of all kinds. It was really fun, but I let that go a long time ago and even threw away pretty much all the jewelry that I made. And I just haven't worn jewelry for years. But after last night, I was like, I don't know. Anyway, that's an origin story that nobody asked for, but I gave to you because I have nothing better to do. Let's see. You said, did I say hi to you already, Cookielicious? I think so. If I didn't, hi. You said, good, you're on a road trip out of state to visit your partner. Hey, she's driving so I can type all I want. That's good. I love being a passenger. You're in Florida. Oh, I love Florida. Every time I visit, I'm just like, can we stay here? But I don't really want to move to Florida. But it's like the air is different, the vibe, the feeling is different. And when you first come in, my husband is always like, it smells like oranges. So we just really love Florida. It looks good on you. Thank you so much. Smart reuse. Exactly. We got to make it work when we don't have anything going on. That's so clever. It's giving you look bonita. Thank you. Ah, I love your blouse too. Oh, you want to see something? Hold on. It's it's a whole jumpsuit. So I want to get it in more colors. I love jumpsuits. Like I need more of them. So I have one, two, three, four. I need more. But yeah, I'm bought this one to see how I would like it, and I love it. So I'm gonna get more. Because I think I want to make like jumpsuits my thing that I'm always wearing on my channel. So anyway, I came prepared. I've got my tea. It's steeping right now. I have my good fucking balls. This flavor is coconut and cashew. From the party, they had popcorn, so it's like cheddar and caramel. Obviously, mostly cheddar. Lord, I wanted more caramel. Anyway, and then I told you guys the next time I came that I would have my sorbet, if you will. What kind of tea? This is ginseng. Hold on. I have to look at the order. Uh, because it's my first time buying it. I threw away all of my tea that I had before that just come in the packs because I was watching a video talking about a lot of these big wig tea companies and how they're really just giving you the dust of product that's covered in so much pesticides. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I want that. So what I have is ginseng 5 treasure tea. Um, Kidney tea. So all of the ingredients, it's a Chinese product. It has maca slices, ginseng, red dates, which I know is hongzao. Anyway, wolfberry, yellow essence, and mulberry. So it has a very nice smell. I don't know how to describe the taste. It's a little sweet. I'm getting used to it, just drinking it on a consistent basis. And the color it produces, I mean, I can't show you in my book cup, but the color it produces is really nice too when you let it sit for a long, long time. I plan on also getting hibiscus tea at some point, um, of the leaves. So then also I have my sorbet. I ran out of grapes, so I used strawberry. So I've got my sorbet because I'm like, I'm hungry. So, in our introduction, I'm just going to eat my sorbet before it melts. Before we get started, you said that sounds nice. Mm-hmm. It is nice. Well, I think I may have put a little bit too much lemon. I was not expecting that. Nevertheless, I love lemon, so it's okay. I just didn't know it was going to be that tart. Today, just so you guys know, for sure, we're covering chapters 76 through 78. Depending on how I feel, we'll go to 79. Um, I just realized it's been a long week. Like last week was so long for me. There was so much going on, so many things that started, so much I was having to like do. And coming on live with you guys Monday, Thursday, Friday, having to socialize at work, and then going to my godson's and his brother's basketball game, and then going to a party, and then coming back here again on Sunday, and then having to see you all again tomorrow. And I'm like, wow, I have overloaded myself with socializing. So I have to figure something out because I was like, wow, my social battery is dwindling down. Like, so I have to figure something out. Um, your new college sim is starting tomorrow. Ooh, and you took a Chinese class. Oh, that's exciting. Is it like beginner Chinese? Where are you in your journey? Are you in the beginning, upper beginning, intermediate? I honestly just need to start over. But then when I start over, I'm going to be like, oh, I know this already. So I have to figure out where to place myself when I start up again because I really don't know. But yeah, you guys, how are y'all doing? Oh, I meant to tell you guys, I started Case File Compendium 2 days ago. I think I'd only gotten like 5 pages in before I stopped, but I finally made it through to chapter 4. Mm, beginner. Cool. I made it to chapter 4. Um, you know, eh, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm gonna try to give it to like the halfway point. Uh, yeah, not really feeling it. So we'll see how I feel. Is that ooh? Oh, and by the way, this is me reading it for myself, not on the channel. I just want to make that clear. Just in case anyone's excited, like, oh, it's gonna be here. No, no, this is just for myself. I'm already reading 2 things for the channel, and I was just trying to find something to read for myself in my own time. Really something that I can binge because I can't binge Ballad of Sword and Wine because I'm reading it out loud. I can't binge Salted Fish because I have to take notes. So I'm just trying to find something that I'm not even going to take notes on. I'm just going to read it for pure pleasure. And if I see something that I like, I'll highlight it, all that stuff. But yeah, it's really different from other Miba novels. So I get you. Yeah, you said understood. Yeah. Just put that out there before the expectations get set. And I'll be like, oops, sorry, you guys. No, I'm not doing it. Um, it is different. I mean, first off, it's modern, which I'm already a little bit apprehensive about because I usually don't care for modern stuff. Let me turn this off. Uh, so, I mean, I'm trying not to judge it based off of that, but honestly, that does make it have like a knock against it just a little bit. But um, yeah, that's how I feel. Also, I actually don't feel like eating any more of this right now, so I'm just gonna put this away, and then we can go ahead and get started. You said, hi, you're late. Well, you don't have to worry about it because I always try to do about 15 minutes of just chatting with you guys to give people time to come in, because anyone could be doing anything. I set these at the times that I am available. Sometimes people are just getting off work. Sometimes people are still at work. So, or you're busy doing something. So I try to give, some breathing room for people to come in. So you don't have to worry. Yeah, say modern stuff isn't my cup of tea. And it's not that I even have anything against modern because like the first volume of River Bay Road, I was super excited about. Like I thought it was really good, even with all the awkward moments. So I know I'm not just being like prejudiced against modern Danmei. Excuse me. It I was excited about that. And then, the second volume I was kind of like, but it's so it's not necessarily like me being prejudiced against it. Yes, you are just in time. Hey, Rubies. Good to see you again. Okay, I'm gonna go put this away and then we'll go ahead and get started since we're 15 minutes in. So be right back. Wait, nope, that's the wrong thingy. Haha! Did you guys like my little comeback screen? I'm learning. I'm learning how to use this software, OBS. I was like, ooh, cool. Now I just need to learn how to add music. I don't really care to have music while I read because I never know like what the tone is going to be, and I don't want it to be like a really serious scene. And the music is like do 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 do, you know. So I don't play the music, but like if I ever take a break, I'm like I feel like I should have some music somewhere. You said uh, you don't the you don't the plot. Oh, you don't. The plot is the strongest point of Bab. For me, it's the relationship and dynamic between the two main characters that drives the story. I did see someone I follow on TikTok who basically said it's not plot. Like there is no plot. Basically, it's kind of like the little plot there is Riverdale esque. But I've never watched Riverdale, so I was like, I don't know what that means. She was like, it's really a lot of sex, gets dirtier and kinkier and more uncomfortable. And I was just like, I'm not sure that excites me very much. So you loved it. Yay! People be dying to some happy music be playing in the background. Exactly. I don't want to do that. Okay, you don't think the plot is the strongest point of Bab. Okay, gotcha. Hi, Mild Adventures. Welcome. You're so glad you found my channel. Ballad of Sword and Wine and Thrice Married to Salted Fish are my top fave Donmei, and I love hearing your thoughts on them. Yay! I'm so glad. Welcome. It's so nice to see you, and I'm glad you're coming in at this time when we're engaging in QJJ and Thrice Married, because I feel like I'm in the highlight of my Donmei life right now. So it's so nice that you came in at this point in time. Like, yes, let's go. Um, you said, is Riv, oh, I think the comment just stopped. Was that person talking about QJJ for the Ballad of Sword and Wine? Oh, no, no, you're talking about the person that was on TikTok. I have to remember. These comments are delayed, so I'm like, wait, what you talking about? No, they were talking about Case File Compendium, just saying that basically no plot. It's it's like they didn't say these exact words, but from what I heard, and because literally everybody is always talking about the sex, to me it sounds like it's just porn without a plot. And so I was just like, oh. So, like I said, I'm going to try to give it to the halfway point. If I don't like it, I'm not going to force myself to finish the book. The only problem is because at some point, I was like, every release that Seven Seas does, I'm going to buy it. And again, that's because Danmei was such a novelty to me, because my whole world shifted, my whole perspective on, homosexuality and all of that stuff shifted. And I was like, I'm just going to support all of it. Bad idea. Because if I don't like it, I bought 6 volumes. Just like I bought all of Guardian and I didn't like Guardian. Fortunately, I was able to give it away. So, depending on how I feel about Case Files, somebody on here might be getting it for free, because I mean, I could sell it too, or I could give it away. I don't know. We'll see. So, You said it's lower on your list now. Oh, don't. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Like, I haven't even read it. So, like, don't take my word for it. You can't afford all Seven Seas releases now. I could, but then, like, I'd have to really indulge less in some other things. Because, yeah, at one point, I was just buying every single thing. And I was like, this is a bad idea. So let me put this on my book stand because my arm is still swollen from surgery and it actually flared up yesterday. So I want to make sure I'm not holding this book if I don't have to. So what am I looking for? Okay, I've got my pen and highlighter and my, well, I can't write out any real notes right now, but anything I might want to mark the page on. So here we go. You said you oh no. Yeah, it's been swollen since surgery, which really sucks. Like the healing would be a lot faster if I were right-handed. But it's my left arm that's swollen and I am left-handed. This is what I write with. This is what I do a lot of my dominant things with. And I'm just like, fudge circles. Okay. So, again, for anyone who has not seen the cover, really quickly, here it is. Very beautiful. We've got I know it's not the last scene from the last book, but they're on Snowcrest, so might as well be. And then the banner in the back has got, the beautiful birds and whatever it is that's being held. I don't know. I have dirty thoughts, even though that's not even a dirty thing right there. And then the opening, the cover photo. Oh, hold up. Inside photo also. And I still want to know who this is. He can call me anytime. You just came back. Snowcrest! So we're about to get started, you guys. I hope you're excited. Let's go! And I'm just going to move this over a bit more. It's kind of weird having that so much in the thing, but hi, Priya. Welcome back. How you doing? We're literally just about to get started reading, so you came right on time. So here we are. Also, with me facing away, I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. So just tell me that really quick, and then I'll read. You know who it is? Okay. I guess I'll figure out eventually. But can you guys hear me well while I'm facing away from my mic? Because if not, I'll try to move myself around. Hold on. Let me just try really quickly anyway and see how this turns out. Oh, there's so much happening over here. I think that works. Yes, you can hear me. Okay. Well, I just made myself move, so I guess this works too now. Trying to figure all this out. I need a new mic stand that will be more convenient. So here we are. Chapter 76, Casting the Net. The last of the night rain was fading, but the humidity of their bodies lingered in the bedding. The little cottage by the hot springs on Mount Fung had been newly renovated. Although it was small, it contained all the necessities. Xiao Triye, robe draped over his shoulders, got up and fed the horse and gerfalcon. The only sounds on Mount Fung at daybreak were the soft plinks of water dripping from the eaves. He basked in the mountain breeze for a moment, his robe casually open, until the chill of early spring calmed the sharp edge of excitement that had persisted through the night. He had sobered from the wine, but his passion had grown more intense and vicious, followed by the kind of languid tenderness that came only after being sated. This was the pleasure of indulging in desire. Xiao Chuye removed the saddle on Snowcrest's back and gestured to Meng, who spread his wings and flew out of the eaves in the forest. When Xiao Chuye ducked back inside, the close heat of the place hadn't yet dissipated. Shen Zichuan lay face down on the pillow with the blanket drawn over him, making it impossible to tell if he was asleep or awake. Dangling from his half-exposed right ear was that jade earring. Xiao Chuye took it off for him and, in passing, rubbed his earlobe where it had turned red from the pressure of the clasp. Oh, for anyone who has the book, you know why I just... Okay, y'all are finna see this picture. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Look. Ah. Oh, my gosh. That is beautiful. And look, even the like horses in the background, I love how we have some of that negative shaping in there, and then some of them filled in with not color but color. I like the use of the negative in there, which in this moment I'm not sure if the negative would be the white or the black. But it's really nice. And then I'll zoom in to the two of them. Look at how content Xiao Chuye looks. And look at how comfortable Shen Zichuan looks. I know that we haven't even gotten to this yet. Like, apparently it's about to happen on the page I'm about to read. But, like, oh my God. Come on. Who is this again? ST? Come on, ST. Thank you. Feed me the beautiful art. And I'm going to mark it with my transparent sticky note. You said it is a nice contrast, right? Mari-chan focusing on horses. Listen. Listen. Possible, but terrifying. So you know. This is the first time seeing the art of QJJ, and I'm loving it. They've already come so far. They have, and I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Don't make fun of me in FS though. It's just live, laugh, love art from Don May Books. Yes. Okay, let me continue now. Here we go. Sorry, the first line. Wait. Shen Zichuan moaned. Why are we moaning? They've come for sure. Okay, let me calm myself down. Here we go. Shen Zichuan moaned. He hadn't yet sunk into a deep sleep, and after another moment of stillness, he opened his eyes to look at Xiao Chuye. We should go, he rasped. Xiao Chuye lay down beside Shen Zichuan and met his eyes. It's a day off today. It's still early. Shen Zichuan hummed. There's still work to be done in the imperial prison. Such a busy man. Xiao Chuye laced their fingers together and pulled Shen Zichuan closer. In just one day, you rose to the position of Northern Judge, and then to Vice Commander. Those you'll be facing now are noble descendants with hereditary ranks. They won't be easy to manage. Someone is bound to try to trip you up with some underhanded trick. Of course, we know this, right? Serving at the Emperor's side is never easy, Shen Zichuan said. It was in this way Shen Zichuan lay. Now we see. Expression open, body soft and satiated. They locked eyes. Then, like the gentle breeze after a rainstorm, came their kiss, light and slow. They had earnestly bared their hearts to each other in this humble thatched cottage, as if in these few scant hours away from Chudu, they could cast aside the strategy and prudence politics demanded and become no more than two young men. This place is too small, Xiao Chuye whispered. The view of the sky is blocked by vermilion walls, and the mountains and plains are hemmed in by cities. Snowcrest can't run to his heart's content. Someday, when we return to Libei, I'll take you riding through the Hongyan Mountains. Not this guy is already planning to take him home. Oh my gosh. When we return to Libei. Oh, I love this. Not when you come, not when I return to Libei and you come visit, but when we return to Libei. Oh my gosh. Okay. You better make those plans. Shuntratran rested his head against Xiao Chuye's chest. Is the moon in Libei as round as the moon in Duanzhou? Those big old eyeballs. Xiao Chuye answered only after a long pause. I've already forgotten. Is the grass in Duanzhou as tall as the grass in Libei? I've already forgotten. They burst into laughter. How great. Dispelling that cloud of melancholy. Shuntratran breathed in Xiao Chuye's scent as Xiao Chuye pressed his chin against the top of Shuntratran's head. Let's go together, Xiao Chuye said. Home? Xiao Chuye tightened his arms around Shuntratran. Home. Okay. Home. Let's ask Jigang Shifu to come with us. Libei is vast. There's plenty of space for him. Y'all, I feel like I'm finna be blushing this whole time. Let's go. Shuntratran laughed and lowered his lashes. Shifu wants to return to Duanzhou. I'm afraid we won't be able to go together. Xiao Chuye looked down at him. As long as we can get out of Chudu, we'll go together, even to the ends of the earth. The wolf pup, the wolf pup should be in Libei. Shuntratran found Xiao Chuye's eyes again. It would be a pity if the poor thing grew complacent with a life of leisure. Libei has my eldest brother, and the Libei armored cavalry has my father, Xiao Chuye answered evenly. Riding is the only thing that suits me. Shuntratran lifted Xiao Chuye's chin and looked into his eyes. Talents bestowed by the heavens will find their use. It's only a matter of time. Ci'an. Ci'an. All the hopes of Libei lie in this name. I'm just going to highlight that. Xiao Chuye let out a booming laugh and rolled over to pin Shuntratran to the bed. He pressed his forehead against Shuntratran's. Do you want me or not? After a lazy stretch to ease his aching muscles, Shuntratran squeezed the back of Xiao Chuye's neck and answered huskily, Will you give yourself to me or not? Xiao Chuye dipped his head to kiss him and pulled the blanket up over them both. Ci'an, yes, to spur peace. So it's like for real. Libei, they need you. Why? I'm not 100% sure just yet, outside of the things that we know, of emperors always guard against, and then the Hua faction, the Empress Dowager, she's going to make her rise again. I don't know, but he's definitely important. Names are always so important. Yeah, I think that even when parents don't take in meanings into consideration for their children, this is my personal belief, that most of the time, if not all the time, children still live up to the meanings of their names. Which is why sometimes I hate it when parents give their children certain names and I'm like, you know what that means? So, but that's my own belief. You said this kind of hurts. You have an ominous feeling. Right? We got 8 volumes and this is only volume 3. So at some point, something really bad's got to happen, right? Xiaoqia is so caring and worrying about the potential people who would scheme against Shuntratran, right? He's like, sir, you have elevated. It's going to be hard for you. But I'm gonna protect you. That's what I'm believing. He's saying in the back of his mind, in the front of his mind. Da, da, da. After that rainy night, the days grew warmer in Chudu. The Grand Secretariat demanded Pan Xiangjie's dismissal from his position as Minister of Works, and the Chief Surveillance Bureau submitted more than 10 memorials in a row impeaching him. Dang. The daily arguments in the imperial court grew so heated, Li Jianheng's ears ached. Wei Huaigu, the Minister of Revenue, and other high ranking ministers from the other noble clans stuck together. They wouldn't abandon one of their own at the first hurdle. In the end, even minor officials like Fu Lin Ye were only demoted with a reduced salary and were allowed to remain in the capital. After the fall of Hua Siqian during the coup at the Nanling hunting grounds, Hai Liangyi had assumed the position of the Grand Secretary of the Grand Secretariat. Although he entrusted Xue Xiuzhou, a man from the eight great clans, with heavy responsibilities, he had also promoted several low ranking officials from common households one after another, most conspicuously the current Minister of Justice, Kong Qiu. The two sides fought a bitter war against each other, both before the court and in the shadows. Honestly, I really love this. Like, Hai Liangyi sticks to his guns. He stay promoting, low these common people or these low ranking people in positions. And even though there's this tug of war between nobility and the common birth people, it's like he is making the change. It's got to come at some point by putting these people in positions of power. So I truly love that. That is something that he is so intentionally doing. Amazing. You said, wait, this is as long as TGC have. Yes. Yes. I agree. My Chinese name has the ling for ice cream, and I absolutely love ice cream. You know what? You and I are friends just for the simple fact that you love ice cream. I love ice cream. And that's not a meaning in my name. Kamaria means moon to reflect the light of the sun. My middle name is Abeja. It means we asked for this one. My old last name, Keeley, was beautiful, brave warrior. Now I'm Simmons. So I'm the one who hears. But like, ice cream is in there somewhere. It's in there somewhere. So you said you have thoughts about this, but you will wait until we've read it all. You could write, yes, I know you had mentioned before just how much you love him. And at first I was just like, okay, we'll see. But like, as I keep reading, I'm like, okay, Hai Liang Yi, I see you. So I'm feeling it. Which language, if I may ask? Kamaria is Swahili. Abasia is Yoruba. Keely is Irish, I believe. Simmons is also Irish. Yes, because it comes from Simon, right? Yeah. So all different, all different places. I mean, two from Africa, one from Ireland. You know, um, my two names combined mean divine wisdom. My parents were totally unaware of it. Oh, I love that. Divine wisdom? That's beautifully profound. Not necessarily love. You feel complicated about him. Ah, what's he do that makes you complicated? Now I'm gonna figure it out. That's a fun mix, right? Just like just go all over the place. Yeah, she gave me my well, I didn't get my father's last name. His name was Witherspoon, which would be a lot. Kamaria Abeja Witherspoon. That's a whole lot. She ended up giving me the name of someone she knew wasn't my father, but she decided to put herself in the land of Delulu and give me his last name anyway and put him on my birth certificate. So there's that. Your name is local variant of Joanna, so John's meaning. Ooh. Oh, he is who he is. It's not a spoiler. Your name is Alexis, and apparently it means defender. Ooh, I like that. That sounds strong. Let's go. Defender. Okay. Okay. He said, right. Oh, wow, is right. That's awesome. I love that name. So now let me get back to Hyliangi doing great things, which apparently are a part of what NFS has complicated feelings about and whatever else he does later on in the plot. So, okay, make sure I wasn't missing anything. However, this recent case was a matter of grave importance. Someone had to take responsibility for the clogged ditches. The noble clans couldn't push the blame onto a scapegoat this time. Yes, finally. If Pan Xiangjie wasn't impeached, then Wei Huaigu would have to go. The Ministry of Revenue was obviously of greater importance to the noble clans than the Ministry of Works. The manual laborers could be cast aside, but control of the treasury must be retained. To this end, Pan Xiangjie wasn't the only member of the Pan clan on the chopping board. His eldest son of lawful birth, the vice minister of the Ministry of Revenue, was also set to be suspended from his post to await impeachment. Li Jianheng no longer spoke his mind so readily before the court. After adjourning for the day, he called for Xiao Chuye to stay behind. They took a stroll around the garden to take in the spring views. I'm actually glad to hear that he no longer just blurts out the first thing that's on his mind. I'm wondering if he's taking advice from Xiao Chuye more. I guess we'll see. But even though he is the emperor, sometimes you have to be wise in saying what it is that you're going to say. Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, everything can't just be blurted out just because you have the idea or the position to do so. Also, I just thought of something that will potentially make my life easier. Look at that. Now I'm not looking like, okay. Just a tiny little change, but a change nonetheless. Where was I? I heard you rode out of the capital in the middle of a thunderstorm some days ago. Li Tianheng held back the sleeve of his bright yellow imperial day robe as he offered half of his candied fruits to Xiao Chuye. What were you up to? The Imperial Army's drill grounds are close to Mount Feng. I worry whenever it rains. It's been only a few days since the flooding in the public ditches. I rushed over that night to take a look. Xiao Chuye replied breezily, as if he hadn't registered that Li Tianheng was keeping tabs on him. He smiled. Your Majesty knows all about that military drill ground. It cost the Imperial Army an arm and a leg. If the rain were to damage it, those 20,000 men of mine would have to go squeeze in with the 8 great battalions, which we know they don't want to do. Okay, so again, now for sure we have here, this is a blatant lie, from our discussion. This is a blatant lie. But yeah, also like the emperor is keeping tabs on him. Again, this friendship, it's just, to me, it's just over. It's like one is a liar, one clearly doesn't trust him, so he's keeping tabs on him. He said the little emperor be learning, yes, which is good. It's like you're currently incompetent, but that doesn't mean that you have to stay incompetent. So you get it together. I don't know what Li Jianheng means. Let me see really quickly. Since we mentioned names, let me just pull it from out of here really quickly. But yeah, I mean their relationship is just it's sad, honestly. Li Jianheng. Oh, it doesn't say what it means. I would have to look it up because I'm actually, well, Jian, I believe this Jian is for health, I think. But I don't recognize the other characters, so never mind. I'll figure it out some other time. Okay. If you march the if you march the Imperial Army to the 8th Great Battalion's military grounds tomorrow, the Ministry of Revenue would allocate the funds for your drill grounds repair immediately. And that's so sad. Li Jianheng tossed the candied fruit into his mouth. They have their guards up around you. I've noticed that much by now. They would rather keep you as far away as possible. We're all merely doing our duty. Where would they get such outlandish ideas? Xiao Chuye said self-depreciatingly. Recalling the last time Xiao Chuye was besieged and attacked on all sides in court, Li Jianheng promptly answered. They're full of foul notions, as sly as old foxes. Every one of them speaks with such eloquence, but in truth, their words are traps meant to set others up. Never mind you, they even have the gall to pull one over on us. Take Pan Xiangjie. His dereliction of duty almost led to our death. And look, who should enter the palace last night to keep the Empress Dowager company but Commandery Princess Zhao Yue? The Empress Dowager knew better, of course. She said she wouldn't interfere in state affairs and send the princess away. Now, how would a girl who's about to be wed know the ins and outs of these political matters? No doubt the Hulian Marquis put her up to it. The two families are in-laws, after all. Xiao Chuye followed Li Jianheng down the steps and beneath the fresh green buds of the branches. Has your Majesty made up your mind to punish Pan Xiangjie then? Of course. We mustn't let him off easily, Li Jianheng said. Sun Yu submitted a memorial just a few days ago with a drawing of the disaster victims from the low-lying district. It's devastating. We are the emperor. We're confined within the imperial palace. It's just as the Secretariat Elder said. All our information comes through others. But that drawing, Pan Xiangjie's negligence and tardiness in cleaning up the public ditches led to untold suffering. He must be punished. The Secretariat Elder thinks so too. Having tasted the sweetness of dishing out rewards and receiving praises from the Grandmasters of Remonstrance within the Chief Surveillance Bureau, Li Jianheng next wanted to make an example of Pan Xiangjie. I happen to disagree with the Secretariat Elder, Xiao Chuye said unexpectedly. Pan Xiangjie deserves punishment, yes, but he shouldn't be... Hold up. This is a word that I don't know. Peremptorily. I'm thinking it probably like prematurely, I would assume, but peremptorily, an adverb, to act, speak, or command in a way that is immediately imperative, leaving no opportunity for denial, refusal. Okay, and I'll make sure I said... Let me hear it.
Peremptorily.
Peremptorily. Oh, peremptorily. Well, that is not how I said it. New vocabulary word, peremptorily. Okay, great. Let me find where I was again and understand that sentence with the word. Okay, so Pan Xiangjie deserves punishment, yes, but he shouldn't be so peremptorily removed from office. Li Tianheng frowned back at him. After such a blunder, you propose we keep him around so he may make another? That's a good question, but let's see how he answers. Danmei vocab. You hear me? I get more new vocabulary from Danmei than I have in any books I've ever read. I'm like, huh? What is this word? Xiao Chuye cast a glance at their clear skies ahead. Their clear skies? I'm gonna say that again. Xiao Chuye cast a glance at the clear skies ahead, remembering what Shan Zichuan had said about how blame would be laid on Pan Xiangjie's feet. He laughed. Of course, Your Majesty must punish him, but if you dismiss him from his post, it'll be the end of his career. Pan Xiangjie is advanced in age. He's made some worthy contributions in his position as Minister of Works over the years. Your Majesty, the blockage of the public ditches caused sewage to flood the streets and destroy buildings, but the embankments of the Kailing River remained as solid and secure as an iron wall. In previous years, when other regions have flooded, Very few dams and embankments have held up so well. The minister clearly put some effort into the construction and didn't cut corners. Make sure the volume's low and everything else. But his negligence of the public ditches is a fact as well. Why should we let him off easy just because of the Kailing River? Your Majesty, Xiao Chuye said, the court assembly discussed this sorry. The court assembly this morning discussed the allocation of funds for the spring plowing. The Ministry of Revenue has been wrestling with the provinces over this. They've been at an impasse for half a month. If it drags on any longer, it'll be too late. What's that got to do with dismissing Pan Xiangjie? Li Jianheng was none too pleased. Even if we retain him, the Ministry of Revenue will not allocate the funds. Wei Huaigu's subordinates are all smooth-tongued. Not even the Secretariat Elder wastes his breath arguing with them. Only those from the Chief Surveillance Bureau can draw with them in a verbal match. All the capable officials within the Ministry of Revenue at the moment are Wei Huaigu's protégés. Where he leads, they follow. Am I speaking in the right voice? Hold on. Yeah, I think so. They follow. But Pan Lin, Pan Xiangjie's son, happens to hold the post of Vice Minister in the Ministry of Revenue. If Your Majesty employs a light touch with Pan Xiangjie this time, their Pan clan will remember Your Majesty's kindness. Their loyalty will be as assured as if Pan Xiangjie's son is Your Majesty's own. When Your Majesty deals with the Ministry of Revenue in the future, you'll have a man on the inside willing to speak up on your behalf. What's more, if Pan Xiangjie is dismissed and prosecuted, the Ministry of Works will have to nominate someone to take up his vacated post. His replacement might not necessarily be as loyal. Here, Xiao Chuye paused to let Li Jianheng think for himself. Li Jianheng took a few steps. But if he's not dismissed, he said, hesitant, there must still be some punishment that will appease the masses. Pan and Fei are related by marriage, while Fei and Xi have long been on close terms. None of them lack money. Your Majesty can find Pan Xiangjie. Have him cover all the expenses incurred from the dredging of the public ditches. Then hand him a more corporeal punishment of flogging. Flogging? Li Jianheng blurted. At his age, wouldn't that kill him? Lord. Xiao Chuye smiled. How shall he mend his ways and shed tears of gratitude if you don't give him a taste of his own mortality? Let the Grand Masters of Remonstrance give him a verbal lashing as well until they're satisfied. By the time Your Majesty summons him again for an audience, he'll be grateful even if Your Majesty instructs him to bark like a dog, let alone cover some civic expenses. Delighted, Li Jianheng circled back. As expected. You're always the resourceful one. So it was, as I said, he was seeking some kind of guidance from his friend. That's good though. Okay. Wei Huaigu himself ran the audit on the whole expenditure. I worry he may have, out of impure intentions, doctored the accounts. Your Majesty should not act with... Wasn't his love flogged in the first book? Yeah. He was flogged pretty badly. But fortunately, the Empress Dowager stepped in and she was like, no, the Emperor said to just give him a little beating, not to kill him. So he was saved. Your Majesty should act with prudence and have the case gone over again. Sure enough, Li Jianheng hesitated. This is a job for the Ministry of Revenue. Where do we find the man for the job? The other ministers can't interfere in this matter either. Then find someone in the Ministry of Revenue. Perhaps the official at the top can't give a clear explanation, but the minor officials at the bottom are all men who serve Your Majesty honestly. Xiao Chuye brushed aside a branch and seemed to think things over before continuing. I met a competent official at the Temple of Guilt during the flood. Is it the Sui Shan guy? This is all Shun Chuan's idea. Everything he's saying. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. It was he who kept the records and accounts for all the medicinal herbs the Imperial Army collected from the local apothecaries. Even the Secretariat Elder was full of praise for him. Perhaps he's just the man you're looking for. If even the Secretariat Elder praised him, we can't go wrong, Li Jianheng said, overjoyed. What's his name? Let's go with him. Xiao Chiye's voice was steady. His name is Liang Cuishan. Okay. Okay, Yep. So now I really am wondering if all the advice that he's given really was from Shun Chuan's doing. There we go. Just a little bit more light on my books because book. There we go. I'm like, it's kind of dark. Anyway, next scene. Xi Hongxuan had been taken into custody shortly after the flood. He'd originally thought, with Li Jianheng's protection and Xue Xiuzhou's efforts, he would be quickly released. But days passed in prison with no word from the outside world. Something, he guessed, had gone wrong somewhere between the throne and his cell. When Shun Chuan arrived at the prison, he showed his authority token. As the fastest rising, newly appointed official who had so recently shared drinks with the Minister of Justice Kong Xiu himself, he had little trouble finding his way in. he had little trouble finding his way in. Qiao Tianya only needed a few caddies of wine to talk the warden off. I love Qiao Tianya. I don't even know why. Okay. The moment Xi Hongxuan saw him, he scrambled up and approached the bars. How is it? Why has there been no news? Has Pan Xiangjie been punished? If so, then it's about time for me to be released. Although Shun Chuan's authority token was swinging from his waist, he hadn't appeared in his official robe. He was dressed instead in a dark gray day robe with the collar tightly secured. The dim light obscured his features as he entered, and against his dark clothes, his skin looked uncommonly pale, almost frosty. You're still waiting for Pan Xiangjie to be prosecuted? Shun Chuan asked. There's been no word of him these days. He's the head of the Ministry of Works. How could the court not punish him after the disaster with the public ditches? Even His Majesty couldn't justify it. Xi Hongxuan clenched his fists. What went wrong? Wei Huaigu, attempting to shirk responsibility and shift the blame, tried everything to drag Pan Xiangjie down. But, as you know, pushing too hard can backfire. Even rabbits will bite when backed into a corner, let alone the long-suffering Pan Xiangjie. The Pan clan has offered to cover all expenses related to this incident. The porridge stall over at the Temple of Guild has yet to be dismantled, and the womenfolk of the Pan clan have been going every day to hand out porridge to the disaster victims. They've made quite the show of humbling themselves, as if ready to accept any physical and verbal abuse. As they say, not for the sake of the monk, but for the Buddha. Even the Secretariat Elder has had to take this into account when considering Pan Xiangjie's punishment. This is all in the plan. I missed so much! Yes, well, we're technically still in the first in the first chapter. So, because we took a break to talk about names. But yeah, we're in the first chapter of the book. You can always just like rewind to where we started. I mean, you would be behind in like the comments, so, but you could just like listen from there. I don't know. You could like double speed until you're caught up, I think. Could you during the live? I'm not sure. Look, I'm just trying to help. Okay. Solemnly, Shun Chuan continued. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Revenue's repeated delays in allocating funds for the ditch maintenance cannot be covered up. If Wei Huaigu was smart, he'd do everyone a favor and admit his mistakes. He'd endure his scolding and get it over with. Yet, he's too oblivious. The man doesn't know when to bend. Second young master, if Pan Xiangjie isn't dismissed and Wei Huaigu isn't punished, I'm afraid the only one left on the chopping block is you. Shi Hongxuan was silent a moment. Wei Huaigu is too money-minded. He's trying to paper over this matter because he's afraid once he admits any wrongdoing, the gap in the Ministry of Revenue's accounts will be exposed, and Hailiang Yi will gain leverage over him. Knowing him, if he can't shove Pan Xiangjie forward as a scapegoat, he'll make me fork over the money instead. No matter what, he won't let himself suffer. Fuck, that wily old fox! When the noble clans had ganged up on Xiao Chiye over the assassination incident, they had wanted a share in the 8 great battalions. But instead of knocking down Xiao Chiye, they were now fighting among themselves. Shi Hongxuan was indignant. He had already spent a hefty sum making amends for his brother, Shi Guan, after he fell from grace. Fortunately, he had the family salt mines, so silver was still flowing in, and the imperial court had no window into the Shi clan's private accounts. But if Wei Huaigu wanted money, that was a different matter. The 8 great clans knew their own. The Shi were a family of salt merchants who did business by sea and kept a large fleet of ships in the port of Yongquan. The other 7 clans knew this all too well. Money that wards off a calamity is money well spent, Shen Zichuan said earnestly, his face grave. With you behind bars, you'll need someone on the outside to handle this business for you. You're transferring money from private accounts at a great distance. If the Wei clan wants some 10,000 taels, transportation alone poses a significant risk. There must be someone you can trust to organize this on your behalf. This is of utmost urgency. You must see that it's done as quickly as possible. Ask Yanqing, Shi Hongxuan blurted, then hesitated. Although Xue Xiuzhou knows the ins and outs of the Shi clan, Shi Hongxuan didn't fully trust him not to get some other ideas in the process. The Shi clan's accumulated wealth was something previous generations had risked their lives to hoard, and they owned a string of connected shops and businesses in Jueshi and Hezhou. If it was money Wei Huaigu wanted, Shi Hongxuan could afford the expense. But there was no one to whom he could entrust the task of transferring such a sum. Since Shi Guan's death, the few Shi clan concubines had been clicking away at their abacuses, making their own calculations about the Shi clan's fortune. If he wasn't careful, he'd meet his end at his family's hands before he died in prison. Lanzhou, Shi Hongxuan said abruptly, you've been promoted to vice commander of the Embroidered Uniform Guard, and you're managing the imperial prison. You have special rights to enter and exit Chudu on official business. This matter may be inappropriate for Yanqing. What with him now in the Court of Judicial Review? His position will make him too conspicuous. He's sure to draw scrutinizing eyes. How about you handle this matter for me instead? Shen Zichuan looked taken aback. Are you really taken aback, or are you just looking taken aback? I've never managed accounts nor dealt with Wei Huaigu before, and I'm not familiar with your business outside Chudu. How could I be trusted to handle this? But that unfamiliarity was just what Shi Hongxuan needed. It made Shen Zichuan perfect for the job. I have managers in the Salterns. They know their business, so you don't need to worry about arranging for the money, Shi Hongxuan explained. But the transportation of a large sum like that will be troublesome. Tens of thousands of silver ingots would pile up into mountains if loaded onto carts. But we can't go the water route. All my family's established routes are on the sea. As far as the inland waterways go, the Hua clan of Dicheng has the final say in the north, while the Yan clan of Hezhou calls the shots in the south. We must go over land, but that means passing through the 13 cities in Jueshi. Fucking hell. I hope all this silver crushes Wei Huaigu to death. In any case, there's nothing you need to fear while passing through Jueshi. Save for Jiang Qingshan. That man is a tough one. You'll want to watch out for him. If he catches on, I'll be skinned alive. Okay, it's been a minute since this man was mentioned. Jiang Qingshan. Well, we're almost done, so I'll wait a second to talk about him. This is too important. Shen Zichuan continued to protest. You should first discuss it with Xue Xiuzhou. No. Shi Hongxuan's mind was made up. Yanqing isn't suitable for something like this. It would put us at cross purposes if we were to get involved. It would put us at cross purposes if he were to get involved. Just tell him to continue to plead my case in court. Perhaps His Majesty is hesitating over my case now, but when I get out of here, I'm going to serve him Wei Huaigu's head on a platter. He smiled at Shen Zichuan. Don't panic, he added. I know you have no experience with business and trade. I left a bookkeeper in my Chudu residence. His name is Xi Dan, an old hand in my employ. Bring him here if you can. I'll give him all the necessary instructions. Shi Hongxuan was a shrewd man. He didn't dare put his trust in Shen Zichuan just yet. Jilei's death was still stuck in his mind. Shi Hongxuan was determined to be different, so he had insisted on seeing his own man before withdrawing any money. The location of the Shi clan's keys was known only to Shi Hongxuan himself, and none of the Shi clan's vaults would open without them. Give me a few days, Shen Zichuan said softly. I'll bring him right to you. And that's the end of the opening chapter. Really quickly, I'm trying to remember. I told myself to write it down, but I didn't because I'm a bad girl. And that's like the only thing I told myself, okay. And I should have. About this Jiang Qingshan person. So just really quickly, he is the provincial administrator, the provincial administration commissioner of Jueshi, and he had done some kind of business before. Was it with Xue Xiuzhou? I don't remember. The point is, he was a hard ass about it. Okay, that's all to remember, and he instilled fear into people's minds. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. I should have written him down. I don't know why I didn't. So we're just gonna keep going forward. On to chapter 77. Dispute. Really quickly, because I forgot when I end a chapter during live sessions, I usually try to talk about them. But I don't think I really have anything to say. Does anyone have any questions about this chapter that we just read? Of course, I love the opening. How could I not? And I'm really excited for where, the grain guy. It's I feel bad just for only remembering that much, but he was the grain guy. Hold on. You know what? 1 second. Let me see if I can. Oi. QJJ. Jiang. Qing Shan. Not Wing Shan. Now I want some wings. You need a character chart. We actually have a character chart in our Discord, and I had put it up on YouTube before, but it needs to be updated. 1 second. Because I just want to make sure we go ahead and get this Jiang Qingshan. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Okay. Okay, no, I was trying to see if I could find something really quick on here, but I couldn't for his character, so we'll just leave it at that. He's a hard ass. And he gets whatever it was that he did, I don't remember, but he gets shit done, okay, with a hard hand, with an iron fist. That much I do remember. He said, I hope the dispute is not between our main couple. Probably just going to be a dispute in court. That's what I'm thinking. But we shall see as we get started. Chapter 77, Dispute. Amid the chaos at court, Pan Xiangjie had been suspended from his post as he awaited impeachment. He had received a flogging in punishment and was back at home, sighing and moaning as he lay on his stomach, nursing his injuries. His son, Pan Lin, who was implicated as well, had endured the rebukes of the Chief Surveillance Bureau every day during court. A few days later, he too was suspended from his post and was now under house arrest. Xiao Chuye, having been promoted to the rank of Marquis, organized a banquet in celebration and specially invited the Helian Marquis. But after the ill-fated matchmaking attempt with Commandery Princess Zhao Yue, the man was too embarrassed to appear before him. The Marquis feared Xiao Chuye, flushed with success and notoriously tyrannical. The Marquis feared Xiao Chuye, flushed with success and notoriously tyrannical, would humiliate him before his other guests. After thinking it through, the Helian Marquis sent his son to attend on his behalf. You little punk. He paid for shortage from his own pocket and then helped Silk Guy with the big reveal at the hunt. Yes, Silk Guy. I love it. It was just Zhou. It was funny actually when I looked up Jiang Qingshan, Xue is whose name came up. So yeah, they were interconnected. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah. Brave man, brave, right? The young Marquis was called Fei Shi and was another well-known figure on Donglong Street. He had gone drinking with Xiao Chuye in the past, but none of the petty tyrants like himself were anywhere near as domineering as that little dictator from Libei. Fei Shi feared the Xiao clan. He, hold on. He no longer caroused with Xiao Chuye, and whenever he saw Xiao Chuye with Li Jianheng, he always gave them a wide berth. Faced with the prospect of attending Xiao Chuye's banquet, he first wilted by half, then changed course and headed to the Pan Manor to persuade Pan Lin to join him. Come with me. It's better than being bored. Fei Shi had scurried over with such haste he still gripped the hem of his robe in both hands. The banquet is right on the Kailing River. There will be loads of people there. Pan Lin's son was just a month old. He teased the baby with a handkerchief before saying, "Not going. I've been in a foul mood these last few days." What fun is there in sitting at home and playing with the baby? Fei Shi squeezed in front of the hovering nanny. I can't skip it this time. My father made his instructions clear. Go have some fun and make friends with him. I heard he's friends with Sun Yu, the left censor-in-chief of the Chief Surveillance Bureau. Think, if Xiao R steps forward and intercedes on your behalf, you won't have to endure those rebukes anymore. Seriously? Pan Lin tossed the handkerchief aside. Sun Shunyi's been more brutal than anyone in reprimanding me. Xiao R only advanced in rank this time because of his friendship with His Majesty. What's he going to say to Sun Yu? I'm not going. Do you think I want to embarrass myself? Look at yourself. You're such a stick in the mud. Fei Shi was racking his brain to coax him out of the door. Xiao Chuye is old friends with His Majesty. If he can put in a few good words for the Pan clan before the throne, would you be in such a sorry state? Come on, let's go. I've had a drink or two with him before. I'll introduce you. Unable to rebuff Fei Shi, Pan Lin found himself dragged out of the house and into the carriage, trundling toward the Kailing River. So obviously, from context, I can understand what trundling means. Trundling. But the fudge? Trundle. With reference to a wheeled vehicle or its occupants, move or cause to move slowly and heavily, typically in a noisy or uneven way. Well, now I'm even more glad that I looked it up because that's even more detailed of a definition. Also, I forgot to highlight that other word I looked up, but there we go. Okay. Xiao Chuye's banquet filled all the gaily painted pleasure boats on the Kailing River. Now that he was famous, the brothels and taverns along the riverbanks also benefited by association with a boost in business. Tonight, Money flowed through hands like water. Xiao Chuye didn't even have to open his mouth. All around him, the crowd practically elbowed past each other to be the first to show him their generosity. You trundle too. Wait a minute. Get your trundle on, NFS. Get your trundle on, okay? Also, I'm supposed to be having this. Okay. To always check and make sure I'm not frozen, I'm supposed to have my thing on the side. You said Xiao Chuye, the influencer. For real though? Like, come on, sir. But in this world, there was no such thing as a free lunch. If Xiao Chuye accepted their money, he would owe them a favor. If not today, there would be plenty of pretexts for them to lean on him in the future. Xiao Chuye knew this all too well and didn't accept a single coin. Every copper for this grand occasion had been paid out of his own pocket. Just a really quick note. One of the things that I absolutely hate is this whole concept of if I give you something, then you absolutely have to do me a favor in the future. I get that's common, and especially in these scenarios with no nobility and people of high status, that's just the way things work. But I hate it so much. It's like if you want to give something as a gift, then just give it. Don't give with the expectation to be given something in return. I hate it. Is he rich now? Wait, remember when he said something about his secret stash, and Shanta was like, "You have a secret stash," and he was like, "A large one." Could have been talking about his nether regions, but he says the only way to make hierarchy work. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Oh my gosh. But yes, it really is the only way, and I hate it so much. Um, he is poor. Yeah, I would imagine by now he's definitely poorer. Um, Although he could still be rich, but poorer than he was before, because of course he's taking care of Tantai Hu's family and anybody else who may have been like Tantai Hu. I'm like, sir. Then he's got some stuff to handle. Like, sir, you keep dishing out money, then you're not gonna have anything. Like, hold on. Also, you guys, excuse me. I'm putting on my arm warmer thing. I've been trying to do alternate between like cold compress and heat on my arm. Uh, And I just thought about it and I was like, why haven't I put this on while I'm reading? Like, this is the perfect time. All right. Okay. I feel like I could punch something. Yeah. All them earrings. Right. Oh, let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, so everything he had paid out of his own pocket. Chun Yang clicked away at the abacus in the back corner. The more he tallied, the slower he became. Oh God. Eventually, he tossed away the abacus and said to Ding Tao and Gu Jin, "The palace has rewarded us with so many fields and mansions. Let's sort them out and find an auspicious day to sell the lot." Oh, cool. Xiao Chuye had just stepped out of his chamber. He cut an imposing figure, outfitted in a golden crown, brocade robe, and coal black boots. But when he heard Chun Yang, his countenance shifted. He lifted a hand to the money pouch at his belt. "Am I so poor?" Maybe. Like, maybe you are. I don't know. That's super hilarious. Um, we have too many expenses at the start of spring. The country estates are largely self-sufficient. We'll bring in some money, but most of the manors in Chudu sit empty. They were bestowed by the palace, so we can't rent them out. But we still have to arrange for their upkeep. Both the Prince's Manor and the Plum Blossom Manor are permanent residences, and we employ 300 or so people between them. The monthly salaries, monetary rewards, and Ding Tao's candy allowance," Xiao Chuye added. "You eat an entire frontier reconnaissance squad's worth of rations each year. We've spoiled you rotten." Ding Tao didn't dare make a fuss. He merely snatched up his little notebook and mumbled, The princess consort gave special permission for it back then. You've grown up, Xiao Chuye said callously. You don't need so much candy anymore. It's bad for your teeth. I'll hold off on calculating tonight's expenses for now. Chunyang gripped the table, feeling a little dizzy from the numbers. I'll finish tomorrow morning. Candy allowance. It's like, how expensive is this candy? Where was I? Okay. A man's got to spend to get things done, Gujin said succinctly. Do the proper audit on the accounts for those country estates, ordered Xiao Chuye. I hardly go there, and Daka is too busy to manage them on his end. Leave those subordinates unchecked too long, and they may start getting ideas. And they may start to get ideas. He took a long stride out, then turned back. Calculate those expenses too. It won't be more than a couple thousand taels. There's someone managing the account. So I paused because there are dots in between it. There's someone managing this account. Gujin watched him stalk away. Who? Who in our household could be managing how our Argongza spends his money? Chunyang fetched the abacus back and flicked it in. I'm sorry, because I was still over my last part. Chunyang fetched the abacus back and flicked at it intently before muttering something non-committal. Ding Tao rubbed one boot against the other and leaned forward to whisper, I know who it is. Me too, Ding Tao. I know who it is. It's bad for the teeth, though. Yes, it is. Uh, right? Come on. This is exciting. This is very exciting. Uh, Despite the extravagance of the preparations, not many officials were invited to the banquet. Love it already. Yes, Ding Tao is a gem. He's my baby. Not many officials were invited. I love it. No court officials of the fourth rank and above escaped censure from the Chief Surveillance Bureau if they gathered for private feasts. Xiao Chuye was also the supreme commander of the imperial army, so to avoid any appearance of favoritism, he couldn't invite the important military officials who worked with him. The feast Sun Yu had held after the public ditches incident was also a private feast. On that occasion, he had first presented a memo to the Grand Secretariat, and it was only after Hailiang Yi had given his approval that Sun Yu invited his guests. This was how it was properly done. Even then, Kong Qiu, who had indulged to the point of inebriation, had been censured and made to sit through a lecture from Hailiang Yi after the fact. And didn't he say that was going to happen? He said Xiao Chuye was like, if he finds out about this, he's going to lecture us to death, you to death. The censors of the Chief Surveillance Bureau, as their title implied, were the Grand Masters of Remonstrance. They could rebuke the emperor at the top and denounce the lower officials at the bottom. Hailiang Yi himself might receive censure for any negligence. During the public ditches incident, Hailiang Yi, who had held the posts of the Grand Secretariat's Deputy Grand Secretary and Grand Secretary in succession, would have borne the blame if disease had spread. Even the emperor was not beyond their reach. In the beginning, I feel like I'm reading the Bible. In the beginning, when Li Jianheng had just ascended, he'd found the dragon throne in Mingli Hall so hard his buttocks ached if he sat for too long. He had griped about it to his attendants. Only a few days later, he had received a diplomatic rebuke from the censors. To date, he had never dared to bring up the matter of patting the throne again. Wait up, come on. Whatever, we'll leave it alone. All of it for a party. Giggles. Right, all of this for a party, like, gosh, but I get it. Xiao Chuye could invite authorities neither political nor military, but he could invite nobles, or more specifically, the distinguished nobles. As long as a person was of hereditary noble rank, he invited them all. Most of these rich young masters with titles sorry, most of these rich young masters with titles but no real power had someone in their family to fund them. So they could all have the fun they wanted with perfect peace of mind. Fei Shi was a prime example of such a man. His father was alive and in good health, and his elder sister was poised to marry a man from the Han clan. He didn't have to worry about trivialities like meals and clothing. He wasn't a good student either. He'd barely learned anything. His only vocation was loafing around. The moment Fei Shi stepped out of the sedan, he headed straight for Xiao Chuye, dragging Pan Lin behind him. Your lordship, congratulations! Xiao Chuye laughed. I'm honored your little lordship has graced me with your presence tonight. Please, drink to your heart's content. Seeing how approachable he was, Fei Shi, why did I say that with such enthusiasm? Seeing how approachable he was, Fei Shi felt much more at ease. Your lordship is generous. I shall not leave sober tonight. Xiao Chuye turned a genial gaze on Pan Lin. And Vice Minister Pan, please enjoy yourself too. Is your father, Lord Pan, feeling better these days? Pan Lin, whose heart had been in his mouth, relaxed and returned a greeting. I thank your lordship for his concern. My father's health is much better. It's just that he feels ashamed in the face of his majesty's graciousness. He's been facing the wall these days, reflecting on the error of his ways. Lord Pan is a veteran minister of 3 reigns. Xiao Chuye sighed with feeling. He's a prudent man, and conscientious in his handling of state affairs. What a pity for him to have met with such unexpected misfortune. Pan Lin had suffered setback after setback in recent days. He had pleaded with a great number of people to intercede on his family's behalf, that their sentences might be reduced. Other than the Fei clan, who still had the heart to help them out, the others came up with all sorts of excuses to turn him away. Pan Lin had been born a legitimate descendant of a noble clan, and his career had been smooth sailing. It was only recently that he had gotten a taste of the real world and learned how fickle and hypocritical society could be. My father... Pan Lin seemed to choke up, then politely forced a smile. Forget it. I'm here tonight to celebrate your lordship's happiness, so let's not speak of other things. Your lordship, congratulations. I'm blessed that His Majesty sees fit to shower kindness and favor upon me. All I did was crawl around in the mud. I can't compare it to the Vice Minister and Lord Pan, who worry about the state all day long. Chunyang. Okay. I was like, huh? Chunyang. Xiao Chuye called over his shoulder. Invite his lordship Fei and Vice Minister Pan onto the boat and serve them well. Chunyang bowed and led the pair onto the pleasure boat. One side of the ship's interior was draped with sheer curtains, and the sound of the pipa flowed into the night. The seats were arranged according to seniority. Chunyang led them both to seats of honor. Everyone at this table was a descendant of the noble clans. Pan Lin saw a few acquaintances but didn't greet them. Sensing the unfriendly atmosphere, Fei Shi stood at once to mediate. Fei Shi stood at once to mediate. Why, if it isn't eldest young Master Xue, what a rare sight! Xue Xiuyi was Xue Xiuzhou's elder brother of lawful birth. He had neither talent nor intelligence, and had for years relied solely on his birth to trample Xue Xiuzhou whenever possible. He was an ambitious man, and now, as he saw the Pan clan on the decline, he had begun to give Pan Lin the cold shoulder. Xue Xiuyi sipped his wine. That was not easy to say. Xue Xiuyi sipped his wine. And how is the little lordship Fei doing? Fei Shi produced a fan and waved it a few times. Me? Not too bad. What has the eldest young master been up to lately? You ought to come out and have some fun with us on one of these days. Chin raised haughtily. Xue Xiuyi said, I've been busy studying some books that are the only hold on. Another vocabulary word. Extant? Fickle friends, right? Tell me about it. Extant. Still in existence, surviving. So, like the opposite of extinct, basically, extant. EXTANT. Okay, not destroyed or lost. Okay, where was I? I've been busy studying some books that are the only extant copy. It might be extant. I don't know the. I'm sorry, y'all. I'd be big on this.
Extant.
Extant. I thought that my pronunciation was wrong. Extant. Reading this one last time, then I won't read it anymore. I promise. I've been studying some books that are the only extant copy from the previous reign. My. Fasher smiled. The eldest young master is a man of great achievements. So how is it that you have time today? All this while, Xue Xiu Yi had turned his profile to them, unwilling to look Pan Lin in the eye. I heard Yao Wenyu has returned to the capital. I thought I might see him here tonight, so I came. There are a few things I'd like to talk to him about. Sir, you ain't even smart. The previous page said you were unintelligent. So why are you pretending? Pan Lin had been tolerant of his attitude until now, but at these words he sneered. Hard to say if you'll ever get the chance. The queue of people wanting to pick Yuanzhou's brain is lined up in order of their learning and accomplishments, and stretches from here to the Hongyan Mountains. I fear even if the eldest young master hangs around waiting all night, it's still far from your turn. The thing Xue Xiu Yi could least tolerate was others making digs at him for his lack of talent and shallow knowledge. He slammed down his wine cup and said frostily, Fine. Perhaps I'm not worthy, but at least I'm aware of my own limitations. I know whether or not I deserve to sit in this position. At this double-edged remark, Pan Lin surged to his feet. Xue Xiu Yi had a sharp tongue. He laughed mockingly when he saw Pan Lin's flushed face, but didn't let up. Come on, Chengzhi, take a seat. Why aren't you sitting down? Are there nails on the chair? Everyone on the boat is looking at you. You're basking in glory tonight. Your Pan clan has indeed impressed everyone lately, even more than when you managed to sire a son. Pan Lin's first wife had died of illness, and his concubine's few pregnancies had all ended in miscarriages. Oh. Seeing that he was over 30 and still without a son, old Madame Pan had abstained from meat and prayed to Buddha, searching high and low for prescriptions to increase her son's virility. The old madam shoved one woman after another into his bed in hopes of begetting a boy, making such a ruckus that everyone soon knew about it. All the wagging tongues of Chudu mocked Pan Lin behind his back for his unmentionable affliction. Really, y'all? Oh, bye! Okay. Ooh, you're tiling a shower. Whoa. It'll be too loud even with headphones. Well, bye. Have fun. I don't know what it's like to do something like that, but that sounds kind of cool. We'll see you later. Where was I? Because not I mean, I don't know how he feels about it, but I would hate to be forced to have sex with woman after woman after woman just because my mother is hoping that I can get a woman pregnant with a son. The things people be doing, man. Okay. The things we be doing, like, oh my gosh. Trembling with rage, Pan Ling jabbed a finger at Xue Xiu Yi. You, you, he sputtered, so furious he was gasping for breath. Who the hell do you think you are? You let your brother of common birth beneath you take charge and manage your clan. You're just dumb as a fox. Dumb as an ox. Patriarchy hurting everyone. Yeep, right? He's dumb as an ox. Xue Xiuyi slapped the table and rose as well. Shut up! You're a disgrace to the educated class. You don't know dog shit. You're worse than a beast, Pan Lin countered. Caught in the middle, Feisher clutched his teacup as he was speckled with spittle. Ew! So y'all just all over the place. He closed his eyes and yelled, What the hell? Eldest young master, Chungju, stop. Why ruin a good banquet? Don't you dare put me in the same category as him, snapped Xue Xiuyi. He's a disgrace, not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Pan Lin looked left and right, then picked up his teacup and smashed it. That can be used to describe people. Yes. The table erupted into chaos. Feisher sat helpless as these young masters wrestled with each other with no regard for their dignity. Xue Xiuyi rarely appeared in public. He was naturally frail and had no skill in fistfights or boxing. It didn't take long for Pan Lin to shove him to the ground. Xue Xiuyi clutched his bruised side and wailed, Ow! 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 You dare strike me! You... With nothing left to smash, Pan Lin removed his shoe and swatted Xue Xiuyi's face. I'm teaching you a lesson on behalf of Old Master Xue. Who the hell do you think you are? Someone ought to slap that foul mouth of yours. Voices rose around them. Dodging the shoe, Feisher cried, Stop! Stop fighting! Men! Men! Xiao Cheye lifted the curtain, his expression grave. Chunyang led the guards to break the pair apart. Xue Xiuyi had been smacked so hard there were red shoe prints on his cheek. He covered his face and stretched out a leg, still trying to kick Pan Lin. Straining his neck forward, he spat hatefully. We aren't done yet. This isn't over. Pan Lin was a sorry sight as he came back to his senses. He had never intended to humiliate himself so in public. Avoiding all the eyes on him, he endured his misery and said resolutely, Even if I, Pan Chengzhi, should starve to death in the future, I'll never sit at the same table as you, Xue Xiuyi. Even if our Pan clan of Dancheng is on the verge of death, I'll never beg your Xue clan for help. He tossed the shoe to the floor. When he raised his head, he didn't look at anyone but merely turned to Xiao Cheye, cupping his hands before his chest. Your lordship, please allow me to compensate you for spoiling the fun, he said, loud enough to carry. I'll pay you back double for anything I've broken. And I'll even cover the expense of this entire Kailing River banquet. Your lordship, please enjoy yourself tonight. I shall take my leave and call on you another day to offer my sincerest apologies. He kicked off his other shoe. In nothing but white socks, he stepped over the mess on the ground and brushed past Feisher as he made his way out. Your Excellency, wait, Xiao Cheye said, unhurried. Chunyang, help the vice minister change his clothes. Right, Chengzhi, Feisher chimed in. Let's get your clothes changed first. When all was said and done, Pan Lin was a young master of a noble clan. His words might be unyielding, but if he really were to step out into the streets in such a state, the humiliation would be too great. Death might be preferable. At the repeated urging of Chun Yang and Feisher, he relented and followed them. Xiao Cheye turned to address Xue Xiuyi. Eldest young master, he said, beckoning Gu Jin over with a finger. You too. The end of that chapter. Brawl. He said, dang. This was pretty intense. You know what? I'm here for Chengzhi, for Pan Chengzhi, because, like, I get it. He is in a tough situation right now. He's being scrutinized, suspended, and his family's been punished and everything. But it's just kind of like, that doesn't mean that he has to sit and take someone being disrespectful to him. You know, like he doesn't have to take that lying down. Just because someone is guilty of something or seemingly guilty of something, it doesn't mean that they don't get to preserve their dignity. You know, like, can we at least get past this case first? Can everything be solidified first? Um, and then like he, yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that. Can the case be closed first before we start with like the defamation and talking down? Like his father has already gotten his lashes. They've already been dogged in court. They don't need to keep taking any more outside of court. Like if you don't want to deal with him, Xue Yi, then just don't. Don't talk to him. If that's really how you feel, but to take your time to talk down to him, it's like, okay, you can't be mad at him when he strikes back. Also, I'm a firm believer that if you don't know how to throw hands, don't start. Don't throw words. Because this is in court. In court, they wouldn't be fighting, right? If they were in Mingley Hall, they could talk all they want. But y'all are at a party. If you can't throw hands, don't talk. Because once fists start flying and you can't fight, which he couldn't, you're going to get your butt whooped. And that's exactly what happened. Yes, it was intense. You feel like fighting always happens at banquets. It really does. I'm glad for Xiao that he's going to pay for everything, though. Yeah, absolutely. He can keep that money now. Oh, gosh. So now we are moving on to the next chapter. Um, yeah, because I think that was really all I wanted to say about that chapter. Hold on. Was there anything else? Yeah, I think that was all I really wanted to say about that chapter. If you recognize that tune, you're awesome. Okay, chapter 78, individual servings. I'll be forgetting to drink when I'm live, especially when I'm reading. You wonder where his wife is and if I'm assuming you meant to put, will show up. I don't know. Oh no, you're talking about Xiao yeah then. Where his wife is. I'm assuming. And he shouldn't be showing up because it said he couldn't invite anyone of military or official rank above 4. He couldn't invite them for looking like favoritism. It said anyone he'd worked with. So even though people previously knew that he and Shun Zichuan were at odds with each other, they did work together. And according to, well, actually, I don't know how many people actually know what happened at the banquet as far as them burying the hatchet. But yeah, I think he couldn't invite him. But I could be wrong about that. Right? He's coming. He's coming. He's coming in this chapter. Maybe, hopefully. I miss Lonjo. I miss my baby. Before I start reading the next chapter, does anyone have any thoughts on this one? I just thought it was really intense. I'm also asking y'all this question to make an excuse for myself to take a bite of this. Mm. Wonderful question, Rubies. What's the point of the banquet if you can't even invite the people you care about? It's all for appearances. This is why I'm fine being a common person. Even in today's society, I don't care to be a celebrity. Like, I don't have to worry about this. Mm. Mm-hmm. They will have their own private party later. We know what kind of party they'll be having. All right. All right, that was my tiny little 30-second, 1 minute break. Also, I got this wristband from my husband's church for 2026. The message is the year of the reward. Moist party? Why would you say that? Oh god. Oh god. Now you put it that way. That's a horrible name, Moist Party. But yeah, so I'm gonna continue reading on that note because it looks like no one has any questions. In this case, yeah, it also reminds me how like in school, I remember being in school usually like because I think we stopped doing this in high school, but in like middle school and stuff, when it came to holidays, for instance like Valentine's Day, we had to bring something for everybody. Like we couldn't just bring something for our friends, you know. And it's just like, why not? I mean, I get it because we didn't want anyone to feel left out, just in case anyone was less popular or whatever the case may be. But even from that respect, it's like, okay, well, then the teacher should bring something that's for everyone. And the teacher doesn't have to say it was from them, you know, so it could just be under the illusion that somebody from the class gifted something for everybody. So I mean, I didn't really participate in that anyway because I didn't grow up celebrating any holidays, but it did remind me of that. It's like, nope, if you bring something for Valentine's Day, you got to bring it for everybody so that everybody gets something. And I'm like, that kind of takes away the point like of the holiday itself. I mean, I don't care for the holiday. I don't remember the story, but I remember reading about the origins of Valentine's Day. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool on this holiday. So, but still, for what people celebrate it as now, I'm just like, no, not cool. Chapter 78. It was like that in yours too. Okay, yeah. Individual servings. What do we mean by that? Hmm? Who are we serving individually? I'm just like, I'm trying to gather something from the title name. Pan Lin was the picture of misery as he sat on the settee near the window in his fresh change of clothes. Me drawing salted fish for V-Day. Fine, I won't send it then. Wait, I still want to see. Just because I don't celebrate doesn't mean I don't want to see the art that you create. Always show me your art, NFS. I am like your biggest fan. There might be someone who's a bigger fan of your art than me, but I am in love with your art. Like you have no idea. Every time you post something, I'm just like, that's so beautiful. I need it on a shirt. I need it on a hat. I need it on something because it's so good. Hey, welcome in. Liesel Pie. Hey Lee, I'm gonna just say Lee. Is that okay? I'm gonna just say hey. How about that? Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the party. You said you'll take the art. I want it, NFS. Don't don't take it away from me just because I said I don't celebrate holidays. It's just the same thing when you sent me some of your art for in an email about the tarot art because you didn't send it because you were like, I don't know if you do that, so I didn't want to be disrespectful and send it. And I was like, I don't, but I still want to see it. Gimme. Okay. That's all I have to say on that. Your friends call you Lee. Okay, great. Lee. Lee. So we are starting chapter 78, individual servings. Who's getting served? Is this a good serving or a bad serving? But considering it's starting with Panlin, probably bad. So I'm going to reread the first sentence. Panlin was the picture of misery as he sat on the settee near the window in his fresh change of clothes. Guilt-ridden, Faysher sat before him and made several attempts to speak, only for the words to die on his lips. You don't have to say anything. Panlin stared out the window at the brilliantly lit courtyard of an old brothel on the riverbank. It's just my luck to have run into a low-life like him tonight. If you know he's a narrow-minded lowlife, Faysher said, then why let him get to you like that? Chungjer, he's not worth it. Panlin barked out a self-depreciating laugh. Has the Pan clan fallen so far that I should forsake my integrity for a meal? If I have to sit there and allow him to mock me like that, I'd rather not. So that's it. Seeing him like this, Faysher began to realize the social snubbing from these last few days had genuinely hurt him. Faysher might be a spoiled young master, but he was an optimistic one. He reassured him. As long as the Green Hills remain, one needn't worry about firewood. Interesting. Where there's life, there's hope. His Majesty hasn't even issued the edict yet. Chungjer, didn't His Majesty say so too? Lord Pan is a veteran minister of 3 reigns. That still carries some weight in His Majesty's heart. I really like this line. I'm just gonna... As long as Green Hills remain, one needn't worry about firewood. Where there's life, there's hope. That's one saying that's often in Danmei. This is my very first time seeing this phrase. So now that you have said that to me, I'm just going to put a little note by it to see if I can go find it at a different time. Find this expression. Oh, okay. Continuing. Okay. At that moment, Gutin lifted the curtain, and Xiao Chuye bent his head to enter. Faysher and Panlin rose as one to bow. Xiao Chuye raised a hand. Gentlemen, no need to stand on ceremony. Lord Pan, please take a seat. Panlin sat and said solemnly, Not only have I spoiled your lordship's fun tonight, I've also held your lordship up from enjoying his own feast. I deserve a beating. Xiao Chuye didn't really mind, though he didn't rush to say so. Gutin served him tea. Right, why would he mind? From all the people he's invited, So? Okay. Xiao Chuye didn't really mind, though he didn't rush to say so. Gutin served him tea, and he sat and took a few sips before speaking. I've long heard of your excellency's talents, but never had the chance to strike up a conversation. It could be said fate and luck brought us together here tonight. On hearing this, Faysher smiled and threw Panlin a speaking glance. Panlin hurriedly got up and bowed. Xiao Chuye motioned for him to sit again. I was the one who dredged the public ditches, so I'm intimately acquainted with this matter. The public ditches on Donglong Street were old and haphazard to begin with. They were dug long before Lord Pan took up his post as Minister of Works. Frankly, there are too many aspects of this incident that don't make sense. The blame for the flooding shouldn't fall entirely on Lord Pan. Warmth surged in Panlin's heart. A few years ago, my father specifically asked someone to draw up a plan for improvements, but that was back when the Zhongbo troops had suffered their defeat and the state treasury was empty. The Ministry of Revenue refused to disperse the funds, so the plans had to be set aside. He heaved a sigh. Who could have known? To think there were such plans. Xiao Chuye covered the teacup with its lid, but Wei Huaigu didn't mention a word of this before the emperor. Aren't your families on good terms? At Ponlin's silence, Feisher hastened to say, Your lordship, it's obvious why Wei Huaigu's going all out to curry favor. He wants to climb the ranks. He served so long, and he's finally qualified for a promotion just in time for the review this year. He's waiting for the review to be submitted so he can be promoted to deputy secretary. He plans to stand toe to toe with Secretariat Elder Hai on the imperial court in the future. No one expected the public ditches to clog so disastrously at this critical juncture. Of course, he wishes to disassociate himself with the issue. He's not willing to shoulder the responsibility in the slightest. This man trying to stand toe to toe with Hai Liang Yi? I deliberately took a loud sip because what are we doing here? Okay. The person he wants isn't there. Why would he care? You just rhymed. Mm-mm. Where was I? Sips tea. Yes. Oh, is that so? Xiao Chiyeh's face showed mild surprise. I've noticed the accounts of the Ministry of Revenue seem to have been in good order the past few years. I really thought Wei Huaigu deserved a promotion. To think he turned out to be such a vile person who so shamelessly seeks personal gain. I'm gonna say that again. To think he turned out to be such a vile person who so shamelessly seeks personal gain. Lord Pan's situation is truly unfortunate. Fei Shi couldn't miss the note of regret in his words. He plucked up his courage and said, Everyone's been tight-lipped lately, your lordship. Chengzhi and I asked a number of people, but no one will say what punishment His Majesty has agreed upon for Lord Pan with the Ministry of Justice. If His Excellency were to be sentenced, would he be assigned out of Chudu? Heart racing, Pan Ling looked at Xiao Chiyeh. Xiao Chiyeh gave his thumb ring a few turns. Only when he had them on the edges of their seats did he speak. It's hard to say. His Majesty seems to be hesitating. As long as the imperial edict hasn't been issued, Fei Shi said, there's still a chance to turn things around. Your lordship is now a true official of the Son of Heaven's inner circle. I hope your lordship can put in a few good words with His Majesty regarding this issue. I won't put in a good word for Lord Pan. Seeing their faces fall, Xiao Chiyeh continued smoothly. I'll only speak the truth. His Majesty is a talented minister and has made great His Excellency. His Excellency is a talented minister and has made great contributions to the state. Even if he's committed a minor blunder, it doesn't merit execution or banishment. I'll speak to His Majesty again tomorrow. If all goes well, the pardon will arrive at your residence within the week. The rims of Pan Ling's eyes were red with emotion when he stood. He didn't dare overstep and he didn't dare overstep and touch Xiao Chiyeh, so he grasped his own sleeves and dropped to his knees as though transplanting rice seedlings. Many thanks to your lordship for saving our lives. Gujin, quickly, help the vice minister up, Xiao Chiyeh said with a smile. I'm only doing what's right. There's no need for your excellency to take it too much to heart. When you return today, tell Lord Pan to rest well. He's still needed for plenty of state and governmental affairs in the future. Fei Shi, who was frank by nature, said, If there's anything we can do for your lordship in the future, just say the word. Chengzhi, let's go. We must head back and tell His Excellency the good news. Pan Ling thanked Xiao Chiyeh again and said sincerely, Please let me know if I can be of assistance to your lordship in the future. Libei is too far. I'm afraid I won't be of much assistance to you there. But as long as it's in Chudu, your lordship only needs speak and I, Pan Chengzhi, will do my utmost. Please. We're all friends here, Xiao Chiyeh said. You mentioned earlier that Lord Pan had found someone to draw up plans for the public ditches a few years ago. It just so happens that I've been worrying about those repairs myself. Could I trouble you to ask Lord Pan if he could lend me the plans for a look? There's no need to ask. I'll send someone to deliver them to your lordship's manor the moment I return home, Pan Ling said. Xiao Chuye offered a few more comforting words, then watched as Gu Jin saw them off the boat. He listened to the music of reed pipes for a moment before turning back to Ding Tao. Tell the cook to go ahead and dish up whatever you like. Once you've eaten, prepare some sweet and spicy dishes. Then, get the cook to grill some fish and deliver it to Shangongzi. Do it quietly. My brain already told me that he was getting some food for him. Okay, so for sure we know, yeah, he's not coming. So he can't come. But anyway, so apparently he likes sweet and spicy. He likes some fish and sweet and spicy dishes. A man after my own heart. I love sweet and spicy. Perfect combination. Always and forever. Ding Tao ran off, notebook bouncing in his little bag. Chun Yang stepped up to Xiao Chuye's shoulder and murmured, Master, Xue Yi won't stay put for long. He's still waiting to see Yao and you. Are you going over? Yes. Of course we are. Xiao Chuye looked back with eyes like chips of ice. Xue Xiuzhou used the Trencheng silk to plant a trap for me. I owe him one. Tell the attendants to open a few more jars of good wine. Xue Xiuyi is of great use to us. The imperial prison under the charge of Kong Qiu was strictly monitored. No information made its way to Xi Hongxuan, and he couldn't get a word out. He had been neatly cut off from the world, and the longer he waited, the more anxious he became. And we love that, right? Because the more anxious he becomes, the more desperate he'll be, the more mistakes he'll make. But we need him to be desperate. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am still thinking about our beloved Jigong and Qi Huilian. Like, is this a moment where Shen Zichuan could possibly get them back some way, somehow, from this whole thing? Anyway, I just had to say that before the chapter ended because I don't know if I would remember to say that once we got to the end of the chapter. ah. One night, he woke and found himself in isolation. He had been moved into a windowless room as he slept. Xi Hongxuan was an obese man. Yes, we know. He couldn't squat down to the slit at the bottom of the door. All he could do was bend over and call out through the gap to the warden delivering his food. What's happened? Sir, boss, at least tell me something. That warden paid him no mind as he shoved rancid rice and leftover soup through the flap and left. Hey, buddy, please, hang on. Xi Hongxuan raised his voice. I still have some silver in my pocket. You've been working so hard these past few days. Why not take it to buy some wine? Consider it a show of my respect for you. The warden turned back and spat at him. Snubbed, Xi Hongxuan sagged back on the straw mat in a daze, leaving his meal untouched. He had barely slept in these days of waiting. He turned his circumstances over and over in his mind, but he didn't know where he had gone wrong. As time stretched in the darkness, so too did his uncertainty. This kind of powerlessness was simply too much to bear. This room was damp, with no ducts to admit air and no windows to admit light. As someone who disdained sleeping on even bambooed mats for the way they pinched his skin, his current predicament was pure torture. Moreover, rashes had broken out on his back, but he couldn't reach to scratch them. It seemed like years later when Xi Hongxuan heard movement at the at the entrance. Not years later. The door creaked open, and Shen Zichuan strode in. Behind him, Qiao Tianya, disguised as a stoic-faced young man, lit the lamp. Xi Hongxuan struggled to get his legs under him. What's going on? Why am I locked up in here? Was this Kong Chu's idea? I've never heard of such a room in this prison. It's not like you're a veteran convict. It's no surprise you don't know about this place. Shen Zichuan pulled off his cloak and handed it back to Xiao Tianya. Come, the food here isn't fit for human consumption. I've had some dishes specially prepared. Eat, and we'll talk. Cloak draped over one arm, Xiao Tianya opened the food box with the other and served up the delicacies they had bought on the way over. Xi Hongxuan sat on the straw mat and watched Xiao Tianya's movements in silence. He let out a burst of laughter, and his expression grew cold. This looks like a last meal. This case doesn't merit a death sentence. Why scare yourself? Shen Zichuan sat on the bench Xiao Tianya. Yes, sorry. Shen Zichuan had sat on the bench Xiao Tianya had dusted clean. When he noticed Xi Hongxuan hadn't moved his chopsticks, he gestured for Xiao Tianya to produce another pair. He picked a few dishes for himself to eat before sampling a mouthful of the wine. Finally, Xi Hongxuan reached for the food. Shen Zichuan set down his chopsticks and watched him, smiling. We are brothers. Must you be so guarded against me? Xi Hongxuan picked up a steamed, twisted roll and gobbled it down. Only after his hunger pang subsided did he reply. It's an unusual time. If you were in my shoes, wouldn't you do the same? How did it go with the business we spoke of before? Have you seen Xidan? Finishing the wine in his cup, Shen Zichuan nodded to Xiao Tianya and opened the door and led in another man. Second master! Xidan nearly pounced on Xi Hongxuan. As soon as he got a look at him, he lowered his head and wept. You've suffered. Steadying his hand, Xi Hongxuan drank the last drop of his wine and said, Oh, get up. Don't make a fool of yourself. It's not time for me to meet my maker yet. During these last few days, said Xidan, wiping his face, since the second master wasn't home, I've instructed the shopkeepers to manage their accounts carefully. I'm keeping a close eye on them, but you're the pillar of our clan. Our business can't run without you. Xi Hongxuan ate his food in silence. After a long while, he said, Tell me what's going on out there. His Majesty wants to assign responsibility for the ditches incident, but neither the Ministry of Revenue nor the Ministry of Works will shoulder the blame, Xidan replied. Pan Xiangjie is suspended and has already received a flogging. When I saw the direction things were headed, I went to plead with Lord Xue myself, but he's busy with his official duties. I didn't manage to get to see him at all. No, it's just that he was busy on purpose, okay? Definitely on purpose. Yanqing wouldn't see you. Xi Hongxuan threw his chopsticks down and looked at Xidan through narrowed eyes. Are you telling the truth? Not you suspecting your own man. Wait, what are we doing? Okay. In the face of his disbelief, Xidan rushed to assure him. Second master, why would I lie about this? To find out the truth, you'd only have to ask yourself as soon as you're released. I wouldn't dare speak falsely. Hasn't His Majesty just issued a general amnesty? The Court of Judicial Review is working with the Ministry of Justice to delve through all the old cases. Lord Xue is neck deep in the files with Kong Chu and the others. I didn't dare to stop his sedan chair, so I never got a chance to meet him. It was only when Xidan explained it this way that Xi Hongxuan was inclined to believe him. What rotten luck to be framed with this kind of timing. Lanzhou, who instigated His Majesty to leave the palace? Is there still no update regarding this? There are only so many people around His Majesty. We need only to go down the list, Shen Zichuan said. But it's obvious His Majesty is reluctant to assign any His Majesty is reluctant to allow any investigation. He's trying to protect the other party. Mudru. Mudru is the only one His Majesty would go this far for. Xi Hongxuan clenched his fists. Whores like her are ruthless. No, we called her a whore. She mu- she must have had some reason for it. You have to be careful. She'd better not have an imperial heir in her belly and be planning to play regent from behind the screen. Since she's in Xue Xiuzhou's camp, I doubt she'll conceive so easily. After a moment, Shen Zhichuan reminded him, your transfer to the Bureau of Evaluations was Xue Xiuzhou's idea as well. If it's indeed the case that Muzhu means you harm, what is Xue Xiuzhou thinking? I don't get it. On the day Shi Hongxuan abducted Qi Huilian, Shen Zichuan had likewise mentioned that it was Xue Xiuzhou's idea for him to enter the Bureau of Evaluations. Half a month later, the implication of his words had taken on a different undertone. Shi Hongxuan pondered a while. Let's see these matters aside for now. Lanzhou, our first priority is to get me out of here. What did Wei Huaigu say? How much does he have? Whatever it is. How much does he want? Whatever it is, I'll give it to him. Shen Zichuan held up 4 fingers. 400,000. 400,000? Shen Zichuan didn't move. 4 million? Holy shit. Okay. That's okay. Bracing him, bracing himself on the table, Shi Hongxuan rose to his feet. The dishes and bowls slid and clattered. Shi Hongxuan's expression was ghastly under the lamplight. He flung the wine cup down and seethed. Good one. Wei Huaigu. Well played, Wei Clan. So, 4 million. He began to laugh grimly. This is the total military expenditure of Great Zhou. It's almost as much as the cost of rebuilding Zhongbo. That's so much money. Fuck! How does he think he's going to move a mountain of silver? Transporting it from the west, even in batches, would take half a year. And it'll cost extra to convince people at each of the passes and checkpoints when the money is crossing territory borders. Even if the silver actually gets to Chengdu, where will he store it? There's simply no way to hide this much money. Shen Zichuan shrugged. He shrugged. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Like, oh, poor you. Also, I said he would be back in this chapter, so I am glad because, yes, he's back in this chapter. Anyway, Shen Zichuan shrugged. What he's doing now is ripping you off by making such an exorbitant demand. What does he care about the logistics? The embroidered uniformed guard has heard news that the Wei clan has its sights set on Zhongbo. Think about it. Wei Huaigu controls the Ministry of Revenue. If he manages to take control of the 6 prefectures of Zhongbo as well, then this sum really will be used on military expenses. When the Wei clan has their own troops, with the backing of the Empress Dowager, then the Shi clan will be at their mercy. Shi Hongxuan whipped his head around to look at Shen Zichuan. When you advised me to join forces with the rest of the 8 great clans back then, did you ever think this would happen? Lanzhou, these people are vicious beasts, one and all. Their greed knows no bounds. The moment they have us in their clutches, you and I will never get back on our feet again. Back then, when I advised you to join forces and kick out the Yao clan, you hesitated. Shen Zichuan reminded him. The Yao clan was a good target. You could have made an example of them. Since you missed that chance, the situation you're in today was only to be expected. Shi Hongxuan, if you don't make them bleed, they'll think of ways to cut you out. Shen Zichuan's tone turned sorrowful. The situation is turning rapidly. It's unlike days gone by, when everyone could still talk reason. Within the 8 great clans, one clan will rise when another falls. It's a wearing down from within. You should have already swallowed up the others and declared yourself the victor. Really quickly, I love how he's like, the situation you're in is kind of your fault. I told you what to do, but you hesitated. He's acting like this isn't a lot. Poker face. Shen Zhuan just, that's rough, buddy. That's Shen for us. Shi Hongxuan's breathing quickened. He did regret his past inaction. Yep, regret that past inaction. He did regret his past inaction. His palms were drenched in sweat as he faced the flickering candlelight. Lanzhou, when I get out of here, I swear I'll heed your advice in all future plans. But it's already come to this. We have to think of a way to get 4 million first. Yes, you do. 4 million is too much, Shen Zhuan said. There's simply no way for that much money to pass through Jueshi without drawing Jiang Qingxiang's eyes. Wait a little longer. I will negotiate with Wei Huaigu. At this point, waiting was his only option. Suppressing his impatience, Shi Hongxuan said, "We have to hurry. The situation in the imperial court changes by the day. His Majesty is indecisive. He has no mind of his own. He has no mind of his own. The moment Xiao'er or Muzhu wins him over, it'll be too late." Shen Zhuan couldn't stay long. As he swept his cloak over his shoulders, he asked, as if in an afterthought, "That's right. If you're in prison, then what about Qi Huilian? He's important too. We can't let anyone see him." Shi Hongxuan parted his lips to speak, but seemed to change his mind a breath later. He said, his voice soothing, "Don't you worry. Qi Huilian won't starve to death. I found someone to watch over him, and the place is well concealed. I'll return him to you once I'm out of here." In the soft darkness, Shen Zhuan turned slightly to glance over his shoulder, the sliver of a smile curving the corners of his lips. He fastened his cloak and said softly, "Sure thing." A cold draft blew through the open door, making the hair on Shi Hongxuan's neck stand on end. He rubbed at his arms, thinking to say a few words more to reassure Shen Zhuan, but the man was already gone. Yes, Suki, that's scary. I'm legitimately scared. Oh man, that smile. Sure thing. Okay, I'll get you out. I'm scared for Chesh. I'm scared for Shi Hongxuan. Man, you should have told him. Not you desperately relying on this man, but won't give him Ti Hui Lian. And I just rhymed. And I get it. Like, if you give him Ti Hui Lian, there's the potential for him not to help you. But if you don't give him Ti Hui Lian, there's the potential for him not to help you. The only difference between those sentences I just said is one word, and that's don't. Just, I would have given him Chi Hui Lian. Cool, 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 cool. I'm scared for this man. Like, ooh, sir, you, I don't know. You just keep digging yourself deeper, okay? Both is bad. Exactly. There's potential for you to be badonkied. No, badonkied. Oh my gosh. So, individual servings was the title of this one. Got it. So, Wei Huaigu is definitely really trying to bring Xi Hongxuan down. Honestly, I don't even know how things are going to turn out. One thing that I do know, well, I don't know, but my guess is that either Shen Zhuan will find a way, to work things out to get him out so that he can get Qi Huilian back, or Xi Hongxuan is going to get so desperate, maybe he'll be put into Lulu or something, depending on what happens, that Qi Huilian's position is given away so that Shen Zhuan can go save him. My also thing is, he'll get, like, we know that he's going to Sun Tzu, regardless, is getting his revenge. That we do know on Shi Hongxuan. When that revenge comes, I don't know, but it's coming. Even if Shi Hongxuan gets out and he gets Qi Huilian back, you've already offended the wolf. So, like, you catching the claws and the teeth. You just are. I'm going to guess he will die in the future. That is my guess as well. I'm like, this man is a goner. You really set yourself up for failure the moment you took Qi Huilian, and you're still setting yourself up for failure. All right, I think I'm just gonna. Ew. Where's the other glove? Okay. Oh. All right. I am going to read one more chapter because I think I have that in me to read one more. We can definitely do so. So let me move this. Also, I still believe that Xue Xiuzhou is potentially is deliberately avoiding this. What was his name? Dishan. Hold on. Sidon. Have I already read it? Oh no. No, no, no. Mm-mm. This is my very first time ever reading Tang Jiu. Just to go ahead and tell you guys, like, for the most part, everything I read on here is first impression. The only thing that was not first impression was, of course, what launched my YouTube, Thousand Autumns. Oh, not me. Okay. I was saying Thousand Autumns, the first three books of Yiwu. And then when we get to How to Survive as a Villain, that, and then on Patreon, SVSSS. Mm. Do any else think is gonna be die after he gets out? I think he's gonna die when he gets out. Yeah. How many of you have actually read it before? I know NFS has. Um, okay. You said you have. Awesome. Yeah. How many of you for this is a reread versus those of you that this is like a first time? Gosh, it just feels so, I don't know, compared to this one. You said you've read it ages ago, but have been waiting for me, for me to get to it. For now, you've been waiting for ages. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. I know everybody last year was like, "Please read QJJ" so many times in comments. Please read it. Please read it. And I'm like, okay, okay, we're gonna get to it. Just like, wait, we're gonna get there. We're gonna start the year off strong, okay? Hopefully, and it's been strong. It's your first time? Okay, nice. Also, Ruby's. So, Vico Ruby's my first time. Yay. You've watched the video from Kichter, but haven't read it. I did watch Kichter's video on the first book before I even started reading. And I think I still would have understood everything without that because I was taking such extensive notes, but I was still really, really glad that I listened to it because it just helped more. And so what I was going to do, I didn't do it with volume 2 and I should have, but it kind of just slipped my mind. I was going to listen to volume 2 summary and then read volume 2, listen to volume 3 and then read it. But I think I'm so invested in this story that I don't want any spoilers at all. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch. Like, because the first book I was okay with it. Like some books I'm okay with like listening to videos about them, giving in-depth summaries. But I think with QJJ, after I watched the first video, I was like, I just want to completely go in blind, because oh my God. Oh my God. Megan's first time. Yes, and I know, Megan, you are loving it. You read the first 10 chapters and stopped, but you were reading it online. In volume 1. You read it after Kichter's video. Yes. Kicker's video with Stitch's explanation is what really got me excited about it because I was genuinely terrified by how many people were hyping it up. Because I was like, I really don't want this to be the case where it's so hyped up, but then it's actually not good. Like that was my biggest fear. I ain't even gonna lie coming into this, but it lives up to the hype. It really lives up to the hype. I've never We are on volume 3, and I said I was going to be fair and give it to like volume 5 before it knocks Yan Wushi out of his place. I'm not sure I'll make it to volume 5 of QJJ before I just go ahead and declare it as my new favorite. Still not declaring it just yet. I'm holding out, but like I'm holding out as much as I can. I did see that. But also, Kicker's video for Salted Fish, I started to, like, I turned it on, listened for literally 10 seconds, and I was like, wait, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. I was like, I actually, right now, I really, really don't want to know anything about Salted Fish. I just want to read it and then learn it as I go. So I didn't watch. I'm going to watch after I finish to not spoil myself on anything. Bold words, I know. Yenwu sure he I have made sure that he has not heard these words. He has not heard these words because I'm so normal about it for ages. Yes, Kicker's video spoil, which obviously they would because they're giving a recap, So I'm like, I'm gonna stay away. It's kind of like my video for I think I made one for SVSSS and for Yuru, just going extensively about why I think it should be read, but not necessarily giving like a recap of the story. But I tried to be as spoiler free as possible, but still, it's just like with such lengthy videos that are talking about a series or a book, it's kind of like there are going to be spoilers there. So it's just one of those things where you listen at your own risk. you know, you listen at your own risk. They may not say everything, but there are going to be some things that are said. So there are actually great teasers for someone like you, I bet. Mm, but also, their shorts give art. I do love the shorts arts. I don't mind art spoilers. I don't mind those at all, especially when I don't know what's happening in the book. I'm kind of just like, well, I don't know what's happening here for real. So, okay, give me all the art. I love their shorts revealing the art. Like, I saw an art spoiler for QJJ Volume 6, and I was like, I need to sprint my way to Volume 6, and I can't. But I want to read Volume 6 so bad just for this piece of art. Because I need to see how this comes to be. Ooh. I'm like, sir, we cannot be doing this. I'm a married woman. I'm just messing. I have a whole Danmei harem, so it doesn't even matter. The funny thing though is all the men in my Danmei harem, I don't want to do anything to them or with them. I just want them to be there so that I can look at them. And I usually have them their significant other in my harem as well, just so they're not alone. I just want a third wheel. My couples. SD had it for Xiaotree. I like to watch her videos for first volumes. I think that's a good thing too. Like just at least watching for the first volume. That has never stopped anyone before. And I'm here for it. I've been spoiled. Something from some audio drama snipped. Oh, but you don't know the context. Well, at least it's good you don't know the context, but it still sucks that you were kind of spoiled. You will bend your way through a book to get to a page with art. You know what I'm thinking of. Like I want to show y'all so bad, but at the same time, I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But best believe, whew, I think it's clear that I have a type on my channel for the most part, outside of Yan Wushi. I am usually always for the shows. I'm usually for the softer types, the sickly and frail, or just like, the like I love Shun Chuan, which, that was only the reason why he was because of, what happened, blah, blah, blah. But I loved him even after he regained his strength and everything. But I love Shun Qiao. I love Cui Buchu. I love Shun Chuan. Wait, other than Cui Buchu, I have a Shun problem. Now that I think about it, because I also love Shun Yuan. And all of these Shuns, if I'm not mistaken, because I looked before, they have the same character. I have a Shun problem. And then there's Sway Butcher in there. I did not know I had this problem until now. But it's pretty clear. I'm usually in love with the bottoms more than the tops, except for Yan Wushi. Yan Wushi has to be sprinkled in there because even with like TGCF, I loved Shelly-Ann. Sure, Hua Chong is fine, whatever. But I was like, but Shelly-Ann. I definitely have a problem. Sure, blame the Shun. He said mountain. Okay, his might be different, but there were several Shun. I think it was Shun Zichuan, uh, Shun Qingqiu, and there were a couple that I looked up that were the exact same. I have to look at them again, but there were many of them that were the exact same. Let me see. I remain in the camp that XL is a top. Interesting. Uh, okay, hold on. Shine to Chuan. We are just gonna go ahead and get this over with now. So I'm gonna look because the character. All right, it's gonna just be written on this. This no. Where are my big sticky notes? I'm gonna share this with y'all once I finish writing it. So for Shun. This is gonna be Lanzhou. Okay. Shun Qingqiu. Yep. It's for Qingqiu as well. Exact same. Uh Okay, and now let me look up Shun Qiao. But not images. Yep. Shun Qiao. They are all using the same Shun. Yep. So here's what it looks like. All the same. Okay. Let me see. I missed some comments. Shilian is a phenomenal character. Hua Chong wouldn't complain if he was a top. He definitely wouldn't. Shilian and Hua Chong are switches to me. uh, he is there with Bing Mei. Bing Mei wants to be a bottom so bad. But Shun Yuan won't let him. Oh gosh. Wasn't there a Shun from Shapalong? Shun Yi. I'll look that one up. Hold on. Oops. Not Shun Yo. Wait. Here we go. The exact same. Yeah, because someone had asked me in a comment before, if Shun was a popular name. And at first I was going to respond and be like, well, I mean, Shun is different. There are lots of Shuns. There could be Shun, 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 Shun. But I looked them up and I was like, oh, they're all the same. And so did some Googling, and that particular character is a very common surname. So that's why, I guess, why it's used so freaking much. So yes, also from Shapolang. Was there anyone else with Shun that we've read on my channel? Cause that's a lot. That is a lot. But also, I am gonna go ahead, and I think we've been giggling a bit. Let's read one more chapter. I think I got one more chapter in me, and that'll be like the first 50 pages of the story. Does it have a meaning? Yes, it did. It does have a meaning. I just didn't look at it because I was too busy. But hold on. It's oh ah la, da, da, da. I'm sure it has a meaning. Oops. Hold on. Is this saying? One second. Oh no. Why is it showing up like... When I looked it up before to see what the meaning was, it had said popular surname. And I was like, okay, yeah, but give me the meaning. So let me see if I can try again. And yes, I understand it is a surname. It's got something to do with water, at least, because the radical for it is there. That might not. I just want an explanation. Yes, I know it's a surname. Y'all, I may not be able to find it. Because I'm trying. Shantiao. Let me see if it'll just like say it on liquid to sink to submerge. There we go. That would be chow that you're asking about. That means peak. So okay. To sink to submerge. We finally got something because I was I was gonna die if I didn't find it. Put it in Discord later. I found it, so we're good. I probably won't remember. So let me just Shun. I'm gonna put it in the comment section. That one. Liquid to sink, submerge. All right. If someone can copy paste that into Discord, that would be nice. Submerge orchid boat. Why are we sinking the orchid boat? Is the Discord the same as the YouTube channel name? I can just give you the invite. But yeah, it's Mari-chan Danmei, but it's invite only. So, and then once we get to the number of people that I want it to be max, then we'll cut it off. So here we go. Oh, I probably should have wrote Discord. But yes, that is the Discord. If you would like to join, that's your invite. Okay. Doesn't that make Lanjo a submarine? I love it. Yes, it does. He's a submarine now. So there is the Discord, and let's go ahead and get started on the final chapter of the day. So it is chapter 79, according to SVSSS Wiki. It also means to pour. Why did I just write it? I feel like if I put it in Discord, then someone else would also put it in. It could just, I mean, y'all could just put it anywhere. It's okay if it's in multiple places. It could just go in under QJJ discussions, since that's, no, because it's all Danmei. It can go in all Danmei or general chat. It doesn't matter. One of those. So let's get into chapter 79, which is entitled Clues. And actually, I lied. I have to pee. So I'm going to pee first, and then we will resume. Be right back. Another bride, another joy, another sunny afternoon, another season, another reason for making whoopee. Okay, I'm back. Oh, someone's saying bye. What are we saying bye for? Or maybe you're saying bye to me while I went to pee. That's so cold. Okay. I'm gonna put it on. Alrighty. Now I've got cold. Thank you. Welcome back. Hey, I said 我快回来, which means I'll come back quickly. So I tried to come back quickly. I just also ran to the kitchen. Okay. Chapter 79. Clues. I love this word. A cacophony of human voices drifted over the Kailing River. The word I love is cacophony, not a, just to be clear. Xue Xiuyi sat cross-legged on the settee, cracking peanut shells and drinking wine. When Xiao Chiye entered, he hurried to brush his robe clean and stood to pay his respects. Xiao Chiye sank into the chair across from Xue Xiuyi as Chen Yang stepped forward to pour wine for them both. Xue Xiuyi kept his fingers pressed to his sides, nervously wiping his hands on his robe. That's enough. That's quite enough. Thank you, your lordship. Too much wine is bad for your health. Cup in hand, Xiao Chiye smiled. The eldest young master is conscientious. You must be diligent about your health at home. Only a little. Xue Xiuyi didn't dare sit back down without permission. He was short and slight to begin with, and with his back still hunched in a bow, he appeared all the more humble and lowly before Xiao Chiye. Please sit, Xiao Chiye said pleasantly. I'd like to seek the eldest young master's advice. Perched on the edge of the settee, Xue Xiuyi demurred. I wouldn't dare presume to offer any. Just from the look of him, Xiao Chuye could see that Xue Xiu Yi was poles apart from his brother, Xue Xiu Zhou. If Xue Xiu Zhou had to defer to an elder brother like this, of course he wouldn't take it lying down. Too much wine isn't that bad in Ballad of Sword and Wine. Right? I mean, the whole poem is based on drink and be merry. Never too much wine. Don't make the cup go empty, which is why I poured more water into my thingy. It's not wine, but I have to. I abstain from wine. I used to drink it, not a lot, but ever since everything last year, I had to abstain. So, um, it's been some time since I last saw Lord Yanqing. Xiao Chuye paused to drink his wine. I hear he's been busy investigating cases with Minister Kong. I imagine it's been hard on him. He's only basking in glory now because the Secretariat Elder promoted him. Xue Xiu Yi had long disliked Xue Xiu Zhou. He had made things as difficult as possible for this common-born brother of his, but regrettably, striking Xue Xiu Zhou had always been like striking cotton, absorbing any damage and bringing all Xue Xiu Yi's efforts to naught. He's the eldest young master's younger brother of common birth. According to custom, the one leading the way in joining the ranks of court officials should be the eldest young master. It seems to be the other way around in your household. Xue Xiu Yi had accepted the wine Chen Yang poured, not daring to refuse it. After a few cups, his sense of propriety began to slip. He could feel the earth spinning under his feet. He gripped his cup harder and snorted. Well, he's just that capable, no? Your lordship would know. But ever since he was a child, he's always been the type to ingratiate himself with those in power. He's always been a shrewd one. There was heavy snow the year he was born. Alongside our generation name, Xiu, he was supposed to be named Gui, promising a life of wealth and prestige. Xiu Gui. Interesting. Lost my place. Oh. But a Taoist priest predicted he would meet a prestigious benefactor in his lifetime, and his name would hinder that destiny. His prestigious benefactor to inhibit that destiny. I wonder who that would be. His birth mother was a resourceful woman who fawned upon the old master of our clan in every way. She pleaded for him to be named Zhuo. Excellent. Instead, to signify the... Wait a minute. Have I been saying his name wrong this whole time and didn't even realize it? Wait, have I? Y'all. I have to start over the QJJ series in its entirety. Oh my gosh. I am so embarrassed right now. I've been saying this man's name wrong the whole time. This is something I pride myself on. Like, not like being prideful, but what the freak, Mari? It's not Xue Xiu Zhou. It's Xue Xiu Zhuo. Just the U and the O were reversed. Ah! I have the perfect thing for this moment. I'm gonna go get it. I'm so sorry, my beloved people, my beloved readers. I have led you all astray. in negligence of attention to the reversal instead of OU to UO. I apologize. Like I'm legitimately upset right now with myself. Oh, fuck. I'm not gonna get over this ever. You always trusted what I say, and now you can't trust me anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. How did I do this? Okay. Nah, trust. It's fine. Not sure if he deserved it, but yeah, it's fine. So now clearly we need an ADR, Mari Chan stamp clip and recordings. Yes, the bonk stick comes with the game Neanderthals something. That's yeah. This is just like this is gonna affect me for a while, y'all. Like I don't even want to read this chapter anymore. I'm so upset. I need a moment. I really do need a moment. Okay, let's do this. And now I know from here on out. 学修拙, which means excellent. Thanks. I'm gonna go cry in a corner when this is over. Like for real. Because I'm so upset. Oh, no, don't be upset. I don't even remember this man. I'm gonna be upset because y'all rely, like so many people rely on me to give the pronunciation of names because so many people, don't speak Mandarin. And here it is. I'm upset. All right. Ah. Anyway, let's continue. She pleaded for him to be named Zhuo. Excellent. Instead, to signify the cultivation of virtues and outstanding capabilities, with the courtesy name Yan Qing, suggesting fairness and purity. He sure lives a charmed life. Xue Shuyi's eyes dimmed as he spoke. By the end, his expression was grim. Eldest young master, why contend with him? Xiao Chuye said kindly. You're the lawful heir of the Xue clan. You're far more esteemed. His words had struck a nerve. Xue Shuyi set down his cup and heaved a long sigh. I needed that for myself too. Your lordship. This deepened his cups. Xue Shuyi grew bolder. You're the second lawful son of the Prince of Libe, with no son of common birth to pose a threat to you. You don't know what it's like. People like us fear having a capable younger brother like him back home. He's of lowly birth, yet he's somehow a notch above me. Whether it's at home or outside it, who doesn't praise him to the skies? How can I hold my head up like this? Look at the A-grade clans. Which of them has a son of common birth at the helm? How is it only the Xue clans that's produced a Xueshu Zhuo? Maybe put the stick away? No. Because I almost said his name wrong. But having this here should hopefully be my reminder to say it correctly from here on out. I won't have this from here on out, but at least for the rest of the recording, I'm going to have this here. Okay. It was because of Xue Shuyi's own selfishness that he so detested Xue Shu Zhuo. But it was because of Xue Xiujuo that the Xue clan had made a comeback in recent years and secured its position among the eight great clans. The lawful sons born to the principal wives of the Xue clan numbered in the hundreds. In the hundreds! And beneath them were the countless common sons of concubines. Are we exaggerating here, or is this like legit in the hundreds? How you popping out this many kids? And how you having that much sex? Are they having twins and triplets? Now that he playing therapist? Nah, he playing strategy. But yes, he's playing therapist. All expenses for momentous family occasions, marriages and funerals, monthly salaries and monetary rewards, expenses for living in separate manners, as well as taxes and sundries for the country estates, flowed from the Xue clan's coffers. Points at some cults in America. Initially, old Master Xue had planned to prop Xue Xiuyi up and let this eldest son of lawful birth take charge of managing family affairs. But Xue Xiuyi was either too engrossed in cultivating the mystical path to immortality or busy lavishing money on undeserving impostors and swindlers. It was precisely as the Empress Dowager had once said: the current generation of the Xue clan was a worthless lot. Other than the common born Xue Xiu Zhuo, no one else was worthy of notice. Xue Xiu Zhuo presently held the position of assistant minister in the Court of Judicial Review as well as head of the Xue clan. In just a few years, he had managed to halt the family's decline and help it find its rooting among the noble clans. He had plenty of brothers at home who loafed around and contributed nothing, as well as both paternal and maternal uncles who spent their days devising schemes to cheat the clan of its money. All of them lived off Xue Xiujuo's all of them lived off Xue Xiujuo even as they spat on him, shamelessly reaping the benefits of his efforts while cursing him as lowborn. Xiao Chuye knew all this already. He and Shanta Chuan were of the same opinion. If not for their uncertainty regarding Xue Xiujuo's loyalties, who had all along been hiding behind the noble clans, they, valuing talent, would have tried to recruit him to their camp. The Chuan Chung silk incident was the crux. It had altered Shanta Chuan's opinion of Xue Xiujuo and turned him into a person they must guard against. A man astute enough to tie thousands of puppet strings as precautions, long before events were set in motion, was unlikely to put himself at the disposal of another. And around the world, presumably. Running his fingers along the rim of his cup, Xiao Chuye considered, everyone has times when they're down on their luck. The eldest young master oughtn't to be too anxious over it. In any case, Xue Xiujuo appears to be acquitting himself well beside the Secretariat Elder and Minister Kong. He's not known to drink or fool around either. He's a decent man who knows his place. Xue Xiuyi immediately grew agitated. He fell into wine-induced hiccups and had to cover his mouth to compose himself before blurting out, "That's all just an act. Your lordship, you know of the twin flowers of Donglong Street, right? Oh Hua Pavilion and Xiangyuan Villa. Well, a few years ago, Xue Xiujuo bought a bunch of young men and women from Xiangyuan Villa and hid them in our manor to train up." Xiao Chuye's gaze sharpened at the mention of Xiangyuan Villa, and he lowered his voice. "Xue Xiujuo bought people from Xiangyuan Villa?" "He did." Xue Xiuyi held up 10 swaying fingers. "He bought more than this many boys and girls, all from Xiangyuan Villa." I wonder how many fingers he was holding up. He bought more than this many. After a moment of silence, Xiao Chuye rose. "Chanyang, keep the eldest young master company. I'm expecting Yao Wen Yu to arrive any moment. I'll go welcome him. Xue Shu Yi sat straight up at the mention of Yao Wen Yu's name and stuttered his agreement, not daring to pester his lordship any further. As soon as Xiao Triye stepped out the door, he shouted, Gujin! Gujin dropped down from his station on the roof and went to one knee. Argongzi, when I told you to investigate Xiangyuan Villa before, how could you miss that Xiangyuan sold over 10 people to the Xue Villa, to the Xue clan? What? Sorry. When I told you to investigate Xiangyuan Villa before, how could you have missed Xiangyuan sold over 10 people to the Xue clan? Stunned, Gujin didn't dare raise his head. I beseech Gongzi to punish me. During the assassination case, Xiang Yuan had betrayed Xiao Chiye and provided false testimony that he'd accepted bribes. The entire incident remained strange. To date, their investigations had uncovered nothing explaining why Xiang Yuan would suddenly throw Xiao Chiye over for the noble clans. Xue Xiujuo was no lecher, yet he'd bought so many people from Xiangyuan Villa and hidden them in his manor without anyone the wiser. What secret lay buried there? In English, it would be all fingers, definitely. In Mandarin, I'm not sure what the because like this is six. What's chi? I don't remember. I actually don't know how to count in Mandarin on my fingers. I just know this is six because Liu 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 is very popular. Um, I don't know. So I do wonder specifically what he held up on his hand. Shan Zichuan was right. I like that sentence. Even when Xue Xiujuo wasn't directly involved, his name appeared in every incident since the Nanling hunting grounds. Perhaps even in everything that happened before that pivotal night. Hold on, who's speaking? Okay. No shit, you should be punished. You've been drinking since we arrived in the capital. Have you crawled so deep in that jug those sharp eyes of yours have gone blind? Incompetence and dereliction of duty. No doubt you should be punished for both. Go ask Cheng Yang for a whipping yourself. Gu Jin began sweating profusely. Yes, silk guy. The wife is always right. I feel like that should be the title. Instead of the wife comes first, the wife is always right. Because in that, he really is in that case too. Um, anyway, uh, Xiao Tria had entrusted Gu Jin with this job because he appreciated the man's meticulousness. Gu Jin was by far the most skilled at this kind of reconnaissance work. As a former scout in the Li Bei Armored Cavalry, he had never made such a blunder. What Xiao Tria said was true. Gu Jin had stayed in Chudu too long and taken his duties too lightly. I'll give you 2 days to get to the bottom of this. I want the number of people Xiang Yuan sold to Xue Xiuzhou, their names, places of birth, ages. I want to know who their parents and distant relatives are. Xiao Tria strode past him and said in frosty tones, One more oversight like this, and you needn't remain in this position. Let me nervously, like, I'm nervous. Poor Gucci, but like also, you didn't take your job seriously. My arm looks so funny. Gujin kowtowed silently, then rose to his feet and streaked off toward Xiang Yuan Villa. When Chun Yang, finally freed of entertaining Xue Xiuyi, came out, he saw Xiao Chiye's dark expression. Hoping he was delivering better news, he said, Master, Xue Xiuyi is taking a rest. Get someone to escort him home tomorrow morning. Xiao Chiye turned and cast a glance back into the room. There's a set of rare books in Plum Blossom Manor. Send someone to fetch them. You can give them to him on his way out. The plot plotteth. Angry Xiao Chiye is, oof, yes. What did I say? The plottery is heavy right now. It's really heavy. Those are part of the Yao clan's collection, Chunyang reminded him. Should we inform Yao Gongzi? Yao Wenyu sold Plum Blossom Manor to me with everything in it. He's already decided he doesn't want them. He spends most of the year out traveling in foreign lands. He's not worried about these dusty old books. Xiao Churyed had more than a few cups tonight, but he didn't seem drunk. He tossed aside the handkerchief he'd used to wipe his hands. Besides, even if he returns to the capital, he's elusive. It's hard to catch even a glimpse of him. There's no way he'd attend a banquet like this. He is not an easy man to pin down. So he ain't even coming? If Yao Gongzi hadn't declined to join the ranks of officials in the imperial court, I fear Xue Xiu Zhuo wouldn't have had the chance to shine as he has. Xiao Churyez's look of displeasure hadn't eased. The turbulence of politics can't be equated with engagement with academia. Yao Wenyu might not necessarily fare any better in court than Xue Xiu Zhuo. Is he still at the banquet? Yes, we're still at the banquet. He just took, remember, he took Pan Chengzhi and Xue Xiu Yi. They had sent them to different rooms to change their clothes. So this is still at the banquet, but just somewhere else. Xiao Chuye et al. I imagine on boat but private quarters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where was I? I've lost my spot. Oh, yes. What did I say? Yao and Yu might not necessarily fare any better in court than Xue Xiuzhou. They're an interesting pair, opposites in every way. When all's said and done, Yao Wenyu is secretary at Elder High's student. If Xue Xiuzhou is a traveler of the secular world, Yao Gongzi is an immortal who transcends it. Chunyang pondered this, but secretary at Elder High appears to cherish Yao Gongzi all the more for it. You're right. Hai Liangyi imparts his knowledge to Yao Wenyu without reservation. He didn't hesitate to break his own prejudices with regard to the noble clans to accept him as a student. This alone shows how he values him. Xue Xiuzhou's political achievements are enviable, yet Hai Liangyi still won't afford him the dignity of accepting him as his official student. And what's more, Xue Xiuzhou's political achievements are enviable, yet Hai Liangyi still won't afford him the dignity of accepting him as his official student. And what's more, in all these years, Hai Liangyi never made the slightest attempt to force Yao Wenyu into politics. Xiao Chuye sighed and continued. Yuan Zhuo, Yuan Zhuo, a precious stone in its primordial form. It was out of fatherly love that Hai Liangyi bestowed this courtesy name on Yao Wenyu. Such closeness between teacher and pupil is not something anyone can compete with. Yao Wenyu is a young master of a noble clan, directly descended. He pointed out to Chunyang. Going by their logic, he's even more legitimate than those so-called legitimate heirs of the Pan, Fei, and Xue clans. The Yao clan is righteous and distinguished. In the past, even the eligible young ladies of the Hua clan found it hard to marry into this clan, but by Yao Wenyu's time, mountains of gold and silver cannot compare to the wonder of the bowl of wild vegetables. Interesting. By Yao Wenyu's time, mountains of gold and silver cannot compare to the wonder of a bowl of wild vegetables. I do wanna highlight that line. That's good. Mountains of silver and gold. Chunyang had seen Yao Wenyu only a handful of times. Even when he bought the estate, he had but one brief encounter with him. He remembered the man as a scholar with nothing on him but a book pouch who shunned horses and sedans. and instead kept the donkey. Is Ding Tao back? Xiao Chuye asked abruptly. He hasn't left yet. He hasn't left yet? Okay. Let him play. Oh, because you're going to deliver it? Is that what this is? Okay. Xiao Chuye strode into his own room and traded the brocade robe he was wearing for a set of casual clothes. The banquet has gone on long enough, and I've already shared a toast with all those with whom I ought to keep company. There's still a few hours before daybreak. I'll be back soon. Shan Zichuan stepped out of the alleyway, and Xidan followed. He didn't dare overtake Shan Zichuan and so simply stood behind him awaiting orders, his head lowered. After looking him over for some time, Shan Zichuan said, unexpectedly gentle, "You spoke well tonight." Anyone else have that suspicion? I didn't voice it, but I definitely had that suspicion. Shidan hastily bowed. "It is this lowly one's greatest aspiration to help your excellency out of any frustration or difficulty. Shi Hongxuan is suspicious by nature. We won't trick him out of real cash with a few words," Shen Zichuan commented. "Are you familiar with his businesses across all the various regions?" Yes, I am." Shidan nodded. "His accounts, large or small, are always sent to his estate in Chudu each month. The 68 shopkeepers under him are all sons of domestic servants. The lives of the parents, wives, and children of these people are all in his hands. They were raised specifically to manage his business. They can't hide any activity in the storefronts from his eyes, no matter how minor. He knows the score. That's why his business empire has run so smoothly all these years. If Shi Hongxuan wants to withdraw these 4 million taels, he must hand you the key and instruct you to take the money from the vault," Shen Zichuan said. "My only question is, how will the money be transferred?" Xi Dan made a few mental calculations. "It's true that there is a huge risk traveling over land. The carts must contain some cargo as a point as a the carts must contain some cargo as a front to conceal the silver. This is 4 million taels we're talking about. Without a long-standing business to serve as cover, Jiang Qingshang, the provincial administration commissioner of Jueshi, will see through it in an instant. And, Your Excellency, if we travel by land, we must first pass through the 13 cities of Jueshi, followed by Dicheng. These are all difficult checkpoints. Most importantly, Shi Hongxuan is right. There's no place in Chudu that could conceal this sum of money." These were silver ingots they were discussing, not paper notes. Even if one had a vacant courtyard in which to hoard them, it wouldn't likely be able to accommodate the full 4 million. Lanzhou in his scammer era. On top of that, there was the headache of spending this much money once it was in hand. What are we spending it on? That is a lot of money. It would be hard to spend all that. Lanzhou needs money for Xiao Chuye. Don't he? Don't he though? Because Shan Zichuan considered as he looked into the night. "This sum will not enter Chudu." Shidan didn't dare make a sound, waiting for Shan Zichuan to continue. Sure enough, he did. "The shipment will be subjected to inspections in Jueshi, whether it is transported by land or sea. 4 million is too large a sum. Even if we're thorough in our planning and hide the shipment from prying eyes, we can't count on every man who carries out our orders to be so meticulous. And it's all pointless if the money can't be spent when it comes. No, this money won't reach Chudu." So where are we sending it? Somewhere to help the Libe clan in some kind of way? Lanzhou! Love Gush. Money, 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 money. Money. So where are we delegating this money? Huh? To the Xiao clan or something? Where it's going? We want to know, Lanzhou. What Your Excellency means, trying to follow the line of Shanzhuan's thoughts, Xi Dan ventured, is that we should trick the money out of him, keep it where it is, and circulate it through trading? He said, guess. Half of it will be handed to you to do just that, Shanzhuan said. I'll come up with something for the other half. Be prepared. The Xi clan's businesses are extensive, and they can't operate without a manager. When Xi Hongxuan falls, you'll be next in line. Xi Dan swiftly agreed. Shanzhuan climbed into the waiting carriage alone. He still had to return to the imperial prison to sift through the files of all the cold cases within the last 2 decades for clues, and didn't have time to go home and sleep. When the horse carriage reached the imperial prison, Good Ting Ting, hey, Good Ting Ting, where you been, Ting Ting? Sorry. When the carriage, when the horse carriage reached the imperial prison, Good Ting Ting, who was on night patrol, had given the order to open the gates and waited for Qiao Tianya to drive in. As Shanzhuan stepped down, Good Ting Ting came closer and whispered, His Lordship the Marquis is here. Shanzhuan reached for the clasp of his overcoat as he strode onto the front porch and nodded toward Good Ting Ting, who took his leave. So getting ready to reveal your neck? Pulling the coat off. Pulling the coat off, he draped it over his arm and pushed open the door. Xiao Chuye had spent the evening indulging in wine, and the scent of alcohol lingered on him even after a change of clothes. He slumped in Shanzhuan's chair, an account book covering his face. At the sound of the door, he lifted the book but didn't move. Come sit here. Xiao Chuye tossed the book onto the table. Where's here? In his lap. Shanzhuan shut the door behind him and hung his head on the rack, unfastening more clasps at his throat as he went. Meeting Xiao Chuye's gaze, he swung one leg. Oh. Oh. Mm. Excuse me a second. Blushing time. Meeting Xiao Chuye's gaze, he swung one leg over Xiao Chuye's thighs. I'm so sorry. Where am I? This is even funny, but just like, okay. Looking. I just wasn't expecting it to just escalate to that. I just wasn't expecting that to escalate. Giggles is so shit. So, unfortunately, I have to make myself read the sentence again because I wasn't done. So, I don't know. This is literally like the second to last sentence. What am I doing? Oh, God. Meeting Xiao Chuye's gaze, he swung one leg over Xiao Chuye's thighs, looking him in the eye as he shifted closer. I made it through the sentence. It was really hard, but I made it through the sentence. Your laughs make me laugh. I'm so sorry. Same every time. See, this is why I admire audio dramas so much. The voice actors, yeah, they be doing it. I'm sure they have these moments because Xiao Cheng reached out to wrap his arms around Shanzituan's waist, their soft lips meeting as they kissed to their heart's content. That is the end of the chapter. Oh, I'm glad I made that. I'm glad that was the end of that because I don't know what I could do. Yan Wushu's voice actor, ma'am, do not get me started. His voice actor alone is why he is ranked so high. It's not even from the. Is why he is ranked so high amongst my favorite characters because he just illuminated the characters so beautifully. He can talk to me all day. He can read to me all day. Like, please. He said, "How sweet. I do love they can't keep their hands off each other." Yes. I love that so much. Wasn't expecting it, but woo. I'm just like, okay, Sean. So like Lanjo, after the way the toast went in the last book, you are free now. We have unleashed the beast inside of you, the sexual creature inside of you, and you are on it. And I am here for it. I might giggle along the way, but I am here for it. So, is it the same? Yes, it is the same voice actor for both, which I respect and I greatly appreciate too. He is also the voice of Shanqing too. Yes, they need each other to survive. Yes, they do. My God. He voiced someone else. I may not know who that someone else is. So that is the end. We read four chapter. Wait, yeah, four chapters today, and we are now on page 63. So, yeah, I'm just gonna tell y'all the name of the next chapter. Chapter 80 is called Bride Price. Bride Price. Bride Price, as in Hua Xiangyi. Bride Price. Bride Price. Yeah. Like, or is this still with them two? Lanzhou is the bride, obviously. So, like, I guess it spoils where the money goes. Dowry! Let's go! Look, I'm literally. That's where the money will go. Ayo, ayo. Lady Hua be pricey, prob. She's so pricey. Oh my gosh. I mean, she is the Empress Dowager's favorite person. So she's expensive. Right. Which bride? I don't even know. How many pages? I'm not gonna read it, but how many pages is this? Okay. Slightly under 10. Boy, am I tempted to read it. Y'all want me to just read the first page? Not me trying to find an excuse. They getting married? That bride price is 2 mil. Insane. Look, first chapter of volume 3 is Will You Take Me? Will You Give Yourself to Me? Dowry is the next. Read the fur. Okay, I'll read the first page and it'll be y'all's little teaser for I jinxed you. It might be Lin Qing Yu for this. That's who's the dad. They just crossing over. Hold on. Let me just put the books together and then it'll just like cross over into that somehow. All right, there we go. It's not for Hwasyangi. So here is the first page. This is just a little teaser for everybody on the live session. But when I come back to this and download it for the audio only, I'm gonna leave it out because it'll be in the next recording. Which, because we had a live session today, I am not 100% certain if there will be chapters tomorrow or Tuesday. But I'm gonna try to get you guys chapters tomorrow as well. Um, I usually try to read like 2 hours before I start work. But I also have to work earlier tomorrow. It's 30 minutes, but 30 minutes is a lot in recording world. Um, I have to work 30 minutes earlier so that I can have time to go live for salted fish. Chapter 80, Bride Price. This passionate embrace lasted a long time, kisses heating up, a taste of the forbidden fruit that awakened an insatiable hunger for more. They were accustomed to testing each other's limits in the dark. As their affection deepened, a kiss was no longer sufficient to settle them. Desire, primal and raw in the primes of their lives, was laid bare between them. Such cloying and clingy intimacy was a gift unique to lovers, since it was a rare luxury to share each other's company without a moment apart. With so many eyes and ears in the imperial prison, this kiss was unspoken compensation for all the time they lost. When they broke apart, Xiao Chuye asked, "Where did you go?" Shen Zhichuan settled into Xiao Chuye's lap, his thighs grinding against Xiao Chuye's. He took his time to slow his breathing, and with a hint of seduction in his half-lidded eyes, replied, "Counting money." Xiao Chuye pinched him. "Do you get off on counting money?" Shen Zichuan let out a husky laugh. "I get off on being pinched by you." The sound the sound of that laugh made Xiao Chuye restless. He grabbed Shen Zichuan's chin with one hand to hold it in place. "Keep going with this seduction of yours." That's it. That's it. I want to keep reading. Oh, baby boy. So that's it. I refuse to keep reading because I have a lot of work to do. Again, how scandalous. Exactly. I don't think that I've bitten off more than I can chew, but at the same time, I think I have given myself a lot of work considering how much work I had for last week coming into this week. So, like, as much as I want to continue reading, I am going to stop because, y'all, I have to read Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. I haven't even started chapter 11. We meet tomorrow, okay? But this weekend, since our live discussion on Thursday, I just haven't been able to read. Like, oh my gosh, Friday was hectic. And then by the time I was done, my energy was sapped. And I was like, there's no way that I can read with my brain not braining properly. So I didn't read on Friday. And then Saturday, we had to get up early to go for 2 hours to watch my godson's basketball game and then my nephew's basketball game. And when I got back home, I slept for hours because, again, I was drained. And then later that night, we got ready for a party that to celebrate, their father's 40th. And we ended up getting there and helping set some certain things up and then just being in the party. And so when we got back home, of course, it was after midnight. So where was the reading? And now today, I have to read Salted Fish to take notes, but I also have to edit this video. Actually, hold on. No. Y'all probably won't get any new chapters tomorrow. It'll have to be on Tuesday because now that I'm streaming this through OBS, the processing time takes longer. And it looks like it's been taking 24 hours or just about, which means I can't even download this video to edit it. I can't do that. Dang. I'm gonna have to wait until around this time tomorrow to download this video, edit any unnecessary stuff out to have the audio. Um, yeah. Um, okay, because I have to put this like the audio on Patreon, right? Of course, everyone from Patreon can be over here listening to the live, but yeah, so there's that. Oh, so no, that takes a little weight off, I guess. I have more time to read Salted Fish. And I have to cook. And we need to go to the grocery store. I haven't even made a grocery list. I have so much to do. And then I'm trying to read a book on my own time, but that might be getting pushed aside because LMAO, but with giggles. I'm stronger than you? I don't know about that. You're reading three books at the same time right now. Yeah. I'm verbally reading QJJ, which takes a lot of time and effort considering how extensive the notes are. Like for QJJ, these are the most extensive notes that I have taken. And it's the same for the offline reads too, so we can do thorough recaps. But for example, like when we get to how to survive as a villain stuff, the notes aren't going to be this extensive. And we're probably not going to need to do these recaps like as heavily. So it's just that the plot be plotting, and sometimes we need help with these political things. So that's why the notes are so thorough. Because I wasn't, I didn't do all of this for previous books. They were much easier to digest, and we would simply, do like a book recap at the end. We're doing them every few chapters, or for every chapter, actually. Um, but yeah, reading that and recording it, reading Salted Fish, not recording it, reading Case File. Mm-mm. And then I was also supposed to start reading someone's original work that they sent to me because I was like, please give it to me, give it to me. And I said I would read it this weekend. So now I have to message them and let them know that I'm still reading it. The file is literally still up on my computer because I won't forget about this because the plot sounded so interesting. And I have to tell them that I need a little bit more time because I'm like, oh, I have definitely given myself more than the capacity I had for this week. Ugh. So, oh my God. But I'm reading it because it sounded great. And the art they produced for it is great as well. And I'm still healing, which the healing process has been going a lot better. For the most part, I haven't been feeling any of the pain in my ovaries anymore, which was a big thing. So I'm just like, okay, we're good. And like, uh, of course, they diagnosed me with endometriosis, but I am choosing to believe and I'm praying that it just won't grow back. They took out the endometrioma that they found, and of course, it grows back like every 3 to 5 years or so. But I have an IUD to slow down the process. But I'm just going to believe that it's gone, that it won't come back. Because that happens. Miracles happen. And so I'm going to believe my miracle. I guess this is like the first I've said it to people that are like really, really close to me, of course. But this is my first time, I guess, like declaring it to others so openly that, yeah, I'm going to believe it's just going to be gone. Both the endometriosis and the adenomyosis. And I can get my life back. So, anyway, you said that's a lot. We can wait. Understood. You're reading Mistakenly Saving the Villain. Yeah. That was. I'll reserve my thoughts on that one actually. Yeah. Enjoy your read. Again? Oh, you've already read it before. Okay. That's good to know. That's waiting for my next binge goblin burst. I'm waiting for the second volume. I had read the fan translation. Danmei is a lovely spot to hide from adult life. And boy, did I hide. For everything from last year, I needed the escapism like so bad. Actually, I think I over escaped. Like not even just in Danmei, but in all things fiction and creating my own little stories because I just wanted to be out of my circumstance. It sucked so freaking much. QJJ is very filling meal. It is a very filling meal. Fantastic, but it's a lot. It is. It's so much. We hope for the best. How's Case File so far without spoilers or anything? Honestly, I can't even give you spoilers if I wanted to because I've been like listening to it and I'm just kind of like I the everything is going in one ear. I hear it, I understand it, and then it goes out the other. I'm not interested at all. Like I've read the first 4 chapters and to me it's very boring. Very, very boring. I have no opinion on it. I can't even say anything. Like, I'm trying to give it to the halfway mark, but I think I'm just going to give it to chapter 8. And if by that point, like, just 4 more chapters, if I still am not feeling it, I'm just going to put it down and I will figure out what I'm going to do with these 6 volumes that I bought stupidly because I just knew it was going to be good. And, that was very dumb and naive of me because I'm like, I love you. I love AAGHHH. I'm going to love Case File. I'm not loving it. And I know that people rave about it, people love it, especially all things to do with the sex. Actually, that's pretty much all I ever hear people talk about when it comes to Case File, which for me, if I want to read porn without a plot because people say the plot is not the strong suit, then I'll just go in AO3. But I'm not enjoying it. Not enjoying it. You said, is that what you said? What'd I say? You're currently in 3 series too? What series? One reason why I binge is so I can dwell in one thing very intensely before moving to another. More than one is hard on me. Mm. When I first started back reading again, reading more than one thing sounded ludicrous to me. And then I don't know what happened. One day it just changed, and I was like, oh, I know what it was. I started reading a manhwa. So I was like, okay, I'm reading a manhwa and a book. That's like, okay, 2 different types of media of reading and the intensity behind it. I'm good. But then I ended up like picking up a fan fiction. So I'm like, I'm reading an official series, a fan fiction of manhwa. Okay. And then suddenly now here I am. So, but yeah, I was trying to find something for myself to binge on because I'm putting so much effort into these other 2 volumes. I was like, I just need something that I can binge. Looks, it's probably not going to be Case File. And like one person I follow, she said that she hated the first 4 volumes, but then everything turned and she loved volume 5 and 6 and stuff. And she's like crazy for it now. She used to hate Case File. And for me personally, I'm just like, I don't want to read 4 books that I hate to get to the 5th book and love it. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that she did it, but if I get to a certain point and I'm just like, no, for book 1, that's it. I don't care. We're not giving the rest of it any more. Uh, OMG, your pins match your hair. Didn't even realize. Ah! Didn't. That was not intentional. QJJ is like you sit, it sits you down, teach you something that gives you a sweet snack, right? Then give me that snack. Case files genre, based on what somebody else said, is like dystopian sci-fi, which also set me off. I was like, it's sci-fi? Because I didn't read the summary or anything when I bought these books. I was like, so not only is it modern, it's sci-fi. We haven't gotten to the sci-fi stuff yet. And apparently there's like a weird switch that just happens suddenly, which also doesn't sound too great. But I'm just like, I've been given so many reasons not to read it, but I'm really, really trying to give it a chance. Right? I'm really, really trying. So dystopian sci-fi. Um, Live, Laugh, Love AO3. Yes, live and breathe it. Wait, Mari, aren't you also reading Copper Coins? I am, but I've already read volumes one and two, so we're waiting on volume three. So am I reading it? Yes, but currently no, because, we're in waiting season. If I was also reading that, whew, well, it wouldn't matter because the releases of that would be slow anyway. You're reading QJJ Salted Fish and rereading TGCF. Oh, that's right. You are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew that already. How far are you in TGCF with Brittany? After reading summary of case file, I thought it's boring. I should have read the summary. I should have. But I was just so excited about Don May, like all things Don May, and flipping my world upside down. You admire everyone who can read through 4 volumes. Right, 4 volumes that you dislike? Y'all saw what I did with Guardian. After volume 1, I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. If Astrolabe was more than 1 volume, no, I would have had to quit. Oh my gosh, you DNF so fast. See, I be trying to give at least like the first 50 pages. Because in my opinion, I don't care how good the rest may be, but if you can't grab my attention, it doesn't have to be something big or spectacular, but if you can't grab my attention in the first 50 pages and make me feel invested, then what are we doing? But sometimes if I'm not sure, I'll go a little further, you know? But 50 pages is the minimum. Either Cosmo and Wanda Pins or Elphaba and Clint. Or watermelon, like me, Mari Chan. Isn't it interesting that all Danmei authors are over all genres, and then Western authors are so genre locked in? Yeah. You're reading TGCF, The Odyssey. You're reading The Odyssey? Oh my gosh, I read that last year. Love it. I had to after listening to Epic the musical so many times. I was like, I need to remember this story and what things have been changed. Love the Odyssey. Wonderful. I honestly would have really loved Epic even more if it stuck to the story. Like that would have been really nice. And it would have been a form of education for those who have never read the Odyssey. But now instead, it's just really a form of entertainment, which is fine, totally fine. Like I love Epic the musical, but I think it would have been cool if he stuck to the guns of the story because the music is really what made it great from that form of media. Like even if he stuck to the story, it would have been just as great. But anyway, that and the house in the Cerulean Sea, which unfortunately I've been disappointed with. Oh no, DNF. Well, it's meat buns, so I'm gonna skip it anyway. Have I read Little Mushroom? Yes, I have. I read Little Mushroom sometime maybe in 2023. I thought it was a very nice story, and the romance to me, my first time reading it, I thought was very light, very subtle, but also very sweet. Um, the only period of time in which I was like, okay, this is a bit much for me, is in the last half of volume two, where it really started to dig more into the science of whatever was happening. I was like, ooh, okay. But I loved the series. I wouldn't reread it, that's for sure, but I absolutely loved it. I was going to reread it, but after some reflections and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, um, volume five now. Okay. Okay. Ha, Mari Chan. Try getting somewhere the Shards of Honor if you need a fast, cute read. Not Don May, of course, but I'm really curious if you just need the right kind of sci-fi. For Bab, I watched Kictor's videos, but there's a concept in that put me off. I don't know if it's because I didn't read it in context or not. Mm. Archaeologist who had that for exam, shudder. You read the Odyssey in high school, same. You adored it. You wish Epic stuck to the. Yeah, I do too. Because I was like, dang. Like, they're really, to me, there didn't seem necessarily a need to deviate from the story. So, like, if I could speak with him, like, of course, no judgment, but I would want to know why he chose to deviate. Like, what was the reason behind that? The science was so confusing. Yes. But after Epic, you wanted to reread it again. Yeah. Trust you. Don't try to pull that card with me, NFS. Don't say 相信我. Like, send it to me in a message on Discord, okay? Just fine. I'll try after I'm done with Bab. If I don't like Bab, I will give it a try, maybe, sorta. Just message me, okay? And we'll see. You give me the right. Thanks for giving me the right to DNF it. My spouse is home. 信我，我不会相信你. I can't. It's sci-fi. I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you. So, you honestly have no idea where to find it though. Oh, well then I might not be reading it after all. Hi, love. Going good. Almost done with my live session. Yeah. How was church? In like one sentence, how was church? Or one word? Okay, I'll ask you more after. Um, what was I saying? Oh, I was about to say something about salted fish. I wanted to make sure that I had the link. Okay, I already have the link set up for tomorrow, so you guys can click notify me for anyone who is reading salted fish. We are meeting again tomorrow for that at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, your girl's just really getting in there, right? Jorge wanted to have the big villain fight. Get in the water. Mm, you don't like. Hello, husband. The people say, by the way. I think he may have closed the door. So I'll tell him afterward. But yeah, so again, for anyone who doesn't know where we're stopping, we are reading to chapter 14 of Salted Fish. Um, I'm trying to think about if I might want to change up the calendar a little bit to put less pressure upon myself, to remove some of the pressure off myself of meeting. But we'll see. We'll see how this week goes with me meeting you guys on Monday and Thursday. And yeah, I see you guys Monday, Thursday, and Patreon on Friday, no, Saturday for a live reading. So also I'm gonna have to like be good just to go ahead and let y'all know, which I'll tell y'all again like tomorrow. So tomorrow I have to sign someone in. This is for work. Sign someone in for something at 3:50 p.m. We're meeting at 2 p.m. So that means I have approximately an hour and 45 minutes to get through everything We'll see if that's possible. But if not, what I will do is do one of those, okay, I'll be right back. Let the person into their live session or whatever. And then no, that won't work. Y'all will have to keep me on schedule tomorrow because I have to be done with our live session by 2:40, no, 3:45. An hour and 45 minutes of talking about chapters 11 through 14. Okay? Because it's a Zoom meeting and I can mute myself and turn the volume down, but I just want to make sure there's no like feedback and sounds getting onto the app and everything and y'all hear. So, yeah, that was a scheduling error on my part. Just because I see now that it takes forever to get through these live sessions. So, anyway, that's my only announcement left. I don't think I have anything else to say to you guys. Uh, Thank you all for joining me. This opening was fantastic. Everything that I needed. I am so glad that we are back in QJJ. Or I'm sorry. I'm so glad that I'm back in QJJ. You all have already been in it, but I haven't read since the 31st of January. So, let's switch you to the underside. Alrighty. Any questions or concerns, grievances, pleasantries that you would like to share? I'm super excited to read How to Survive as a Villain BTW. I'm just wondering when like the fourth book will come out because I don't on Yigi Bean I never see any like schedule that like they have on Seven Seas. So I'm like, when does volume 3 come out? Can you tell me? Yes? No? Maybe so? And let me look again. How to Survive as a Villain. Yeah, see, I'm still only seeing the first 2 volumes. Really random thing, really quickly. When I was reading something, it said that, like the character, like we see on anime, right, was sticking their tongue out while they were focusing diligently on something. So they were like, and so I tried it and I was like, this is weird. Does anyone actually do this in real life? Because like the air, I feel it on my tongue and it's just weird. I was like, that's unrealistic, I think. Maybe, possibly. Okay, anyway, that was really random. Since nobody has anything to say, I am gonna go ahead and go to chat with my hubby to eat some real dude, to eat some real food and then cook as well. But I had so much fun with you guys. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You do this? How, like, is it for an extended period of time? Try to take a pic without tongue, and I can't. Only a little. Is it for. Oh gosh. Hold on. Is it for an extended period of time, though? Like, how does your tongue feel after that? This is a weird question, but it's more that I put tongue on my upper teeth. On the front, like this, or the back? I would assume you mean the front. This is a weird conversation. Mm. Oh no. Oh, well, it's down in there now. It is what it is. Okay. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. I will see you all again tomorrow. But as far as QJJ, I will see you all again, audio speaking, on Tuesday. Or Tuesday, as I'm going to say. You've never paid attention, but now you will. Right now, you're going to be thinking about it like, my mother or some has to remind me to close my mouth. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, it's nice to know that it is realistic because I was just wondering. I'm like, do people like do this for real or is this specifically an anime thing? So now I know. But yes, thank you. Thank you, NFS. Bye, you guys. It's been fun. I'm gonna go think about where I left off on the chapter that we did not read today, and I'm gonna just fantasize about it for a little bit. Fantastic reading. Had a lovely time. Yay! So I wish you all the best, and I will see y'all tomorrow for anyone who could come. Okay? Well, I